Hey guys and welcome back to my channel. This is part 1 of What If Naruto was in Teen Titans. Before we begin, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and also go and support the author, link in description. A man was running down the crowded streets, huffing as he tried to run from whatever it was that was making him run. He was wearing a jacket that had red flames and a golden sheen, a big scroll on his back. The man turned into an alley and panted, looking back at the street. His whisker marks on his cheeks wet from sweat, his piercing blue eyes looking dangerously, his unruly golden locks dampened from whatever lake he seemed to have jumped in. He was Naruto Uzumaki, and he was in a city, not a village, and it was metal, not wood or brick. It had dozens of weird-clothed people and so many lights despite the dark skies, unlike the lowly lighted nights with the shinobi of his own village. He sighed heavily, sitting down and thinking. Alright, situation. Unknown. Whereabouts. Unknown. What the hell happened back there? He was referring to his battle with several of his friends at the Valley of the End. Truth be told, all he did was go all out. Using not only his ever-abundant chakra, but also the natural chakra of the valley, and even Kyuubi's chakra form. He used both Sennin mode and Kyuubi mode fully, all 9 tails. The fox, although now free of his cage, and happy, was pissed the fuck off at what happened. Kit, you had to be a moron, didn't you? Natural chakra and energy cannot combine with me and my demonic aura and infinite yokai energy. Doing so, even I knew the results were tearing at the fabric of space and time. Naruto growled in his mind. Well, maybe if you had warned me beforehand. It's not like I knew this was going to fucking happen, nor did I know that your energy wasn't natural on the human plane. Could have fooled me. Kyuubi had to admit it was true. He didn't give the kid squat when it came to something never done before, even if he knew it might have results that could tear open a dimensional portal. He did know one thing. Dimensional portals like that only appear when the power source was so strong in that realm it was not supposed to be there, and zoomed him to a dimension able to contain such power. Kyuubi sighed, calming down. Alright kid, listen up. I know dimensional portals. Usually when one appears on a person it's to send them to a void dimension, something to entrap them for not supposed to being there in the first place. We got trapped in another realm altogether. It's not a void, but another human plane. Get my drift? Naruto nodded, pulling the scroll from his back and taking off his jacket. I think so. If a power source like God's own power made real from heaven accidentally manifested, and caused something destiny didn't like, it would be sent to a place where it could no longer do damage, or a place to torture them for their crimes, like a prison that is their worst nightmare. We are lucky that didn't happen to us, and are in another place, somewhere that either needs me to be who I am, or needs my powers. Kyuubi smiled, his fox grin spreading. Exactly. This world either has too many good and evil forces, and needs balance with your line on neutrality, or more than likely, this plane has weak power, and we were sent because it was the only one that could contain your vast amount of power. Naruto nodded, taking off his headband and under jacket, leaving him in his pants, white shirt and sandals. He got a scroll from his pouch and sealed them all in a seal each, in the ones they were named, clothes, and scrolls. He sighed and unrolled it a little more, seeing the red cloud seals. He smiled, thinking he could go undercover in that. No one, not even Konoha, knew what he had done. He unsealed everything, one seal opened to reveal 10 rings, which he slid on each finger accordingly as they were on the original Akatsuki members. He grabbed the red cloak, flinging it on, zipping it up before grabbing a head mask, wrapping it on his head to cover up his hair so no one could identify him by looks alone, and then grabbed an orange swirl mask. He smiled. You asshole. I guess I have to dress up like you to survive. Who knew the irony? He put it on and covered his face before rolling up the sealing scroll, putting it in his sleeve. Alright, no one will be able to figure out who I am, no matter what I do. Sadly, his moments of peace were stopped, as he turned at a boy yelling at him. He was green from head to toe, wearing a purple jumpsuit with black limbs for the sleeves and legs. He had fangs and pointy ears. Naruto looked at him through the hole in the mask. And you might be. The green boy grinned, pointing a thumb at himself. Your worst nightmare, criminal. Naruto looked dull at him a second before smiling behind his mask. He shrugged, shaking his head. I got no clue what you're talking about. All I am doing making sure no one recognizes me. The boy nodded, getting into fighting stance. Exactly, just like a thief. So just give up. I know you're kind, just give up, there's no way you can win. Naruto looked a little curious as to why the kid was being so serious about this and sighed, turning, his body standing straight but his hands at his sides, hidden in the sleeves. What are you supposed to be then? Police. Hero. What? The boy grinned. I'm a hero, the name is Beast Boy and you are going down. The boy slumped to all fours before suddenly growing in size, his clothes vanishing as if phasing into his body as he turned into a rhino. Naruto looked surprised. Okay, that's something I didn't expect. The rhino sounded out before charging down the alley at him. Naruto cursed, jumping into the air with chakra-enhanced legs and making it to the top easy, landing on the roof. Damn, these buildings are high. Never had anything higher than the Hokage mountain before. He looked down and seen the boy change back. He sighed, but then looked once again shocked as the boy turned into a big bird he knew from history books, a pterodactyl, a winged bird dino. It flew up and almost hit him as it did. Naruto growled as it zipped into the air and then down at him, dive bombing. He didn't want to, but he had no choice. He ran, fast, jumping from building to building as he tried to outrun the thing. When it reached him, he sidestepped and jumped back, letting it pass. He sighed when the boy landed and turned back. He stood straight again. What are you? How the hell can you change into different animals? Beast Boy grinned. Duh, I'm Beast Boy. Naruto grumbled before looking at the boy. Never heard of you, but I do know this, why the hell are you attacking me? The boy scowled. Come on, that's easy. You're a criminal, and I put criminals like you behind bars. Just as Naruto was about to retort, he seen a flash of light and looked as a green ball of energy flew at him. He cursed, jumping back and dodging it. Okay, what was that? He seen a girl, dressed in a tube top and a skirt, with boots and gloves, all of which were purple. I do not wish to do you the harm, please won't you come peacefully? Naruto looked blankly before shaking his head. Major headache. What kind of jutsu are you two using? Really, those jutsu look real useful. The girl and boy looked at each other before back at him. Beast Boy was confused. What jutsu? We were born with the ability to do this, what the hell is jutsu? Naruto looked blankly again. Before he seen three more come up. One looked weird with metal and stuff on him, another boy that looked like he was a clown with green pants, red shirt, and he even had a cape and mask. Lastly, a girl came through the flow portal in the floor. Naruto looked at them shocked. He was about to go rant, but then the masked boy looked sternly. Like Starfire said, give up peacefully. Naruto shook his head to clear it, grabbing his head. If it wasn't enough these two came, I have even more weirdas. Seriously, how did you come through the Kami Forsaken floor? The blue girl said in a lowly voice, emotionless. You don't need to know. Naruto groaned, looking into the sky. Seriously, why me? Kami, do you hate me this much? Everyone looked at him and he sighed. He was just about to speak again when the man in metal raised a hand, and made it transform. The light shone from in the hole in the arm now and then it blasted. Naruto gasped before jumping into the air, dodging it. He used his chakra and attached it to the air particles and was standing on the very air. Seriously, can I not get a fucking word in? Starfire, as she was named, flew up fast and threw a barrage of the green balls at him. He cursed and dodged left and right, jumping on the air itself to escape them. As he was dodging though, he failed to see Beast Boy fly up, and in his talons as the winged dino, the metal man was firing on him. He roared and dodged double time to not be hit by any of it. He was sure fighting them would just make things worse, but the hell he was gonna let them hurt him. The girl in blue was behind him, and he looked at what she was going to do, as black energy covered her hands. She chanted something unknown to him and suddenly wires and poles from the rooftops came to life and tried to catch him. He groaned out as he was captured, having to dodge balls of green energy, beams of light, and sentient objects. He chose to be captured rather than hurt. He was brought down and Robin came up to him. What did you steal? Naruto sighed. Excuse me, but how do you know I am a thief, or stole anything? Green Bean's words. All he seen was me in an alley getting dressed. Robin looked confused and looked as Beast Boy changed back and looked confused too. You're kidding, right? You were in that alley and had puffs of smoke come from nowhere, and then you dress up and then say, no one will recognize me no matter what I do. So you tell me. He roared out and Naruto groaned. Naruto sighed before continuing. Listen, maybe I wanted to be hidden from some bad people, and thought they would look for me so I dressed up. I don't want to be recognized by anyone because I don't know what the fuck is going on. Robin sighed, rubbing his face. Fine, we'll let you go, but pull anything and we'll be back. Naruto nodded and was let go. As the five started to go away, he said his last word. Like you could stop me. I only let you catch me because I didn't want to make any trouble. Robin turned, grinning. Really, I find that hard to believe. We catch so many bad guys it's not funny. You are no different. Naruto shrugged. If I wanted to, I could do this. Even when I was trapped, I could have just thought happy thoughts and went poof. He suddenly vanished from sight and after a few seconds Raven sighed. He's gone, his energy disappeared. Cyborg looked surprised. You mean to tell me, he walked on thin air like it was solid, dodged me and Star and was able to do that all along? Who is he? Robin was confused as well, and then looked to BB. Beast Boy, you really need to think before you act. While your intentions to stop criminals is good, we have no proof. BB sighed, nodding. Sorry, just tired you know. You have me out on patrol 5 days in a row. I need a rest. Robin nodded. I guess you got that right. I do push it a little, huh? Tell you what, we divide the night patrol between us and take the weekends off. After everyone agreed, they went off. XXX with Naruto, on the other side and edge of the city. XXX. Naruto sighed, standing on a post overlooking some of the city. He could tell it was just a normal town, but the 5 people he met were not normal. He tried to think what world he found himself in. Kyuubi decided to make itself known. There are so many human planes, it's unbelievable how Kami allows so many of you to survive despite such a range of good and evil. It will take some time and information before I can tell you anything, kid, but I will say this, it's best to keep changing appearances. Gather information from both sides, the sooner the better. Only have your normal you in the day. Naruto hummed. He tried to think how. The best way to do it all at once and quick was Kage Bunshin, but then again. They only lasted so long, a week tops, and if he needed them to go more, he was in serious trouble. He sighed, resigning himself to let his Rai Bunshin take the night in case things went sour, and he knew they might with those kids trying to take him down if he managed to accidentally break a law. He dropped and ran through the city at lightning fast speed, wanting no one to see him or know of him beforehand. He had to find a hideout. He smiled as he seen an abandoned house complex and jumped in there. He sighed seeing the state, but hey, nothing a few Kage Bunshin could clean. He got a few up and running and helped them out, getting at least one room the biggest into very good shape, spotless, and neat. He undressed, sealing his Akatsuki gear and unsealing a pair of, lack for a better sword, civil clothing, as civil as can be given which dimension he is in now. He put them off and just slept for the night, thinking of his next move. What now? Should he seek both hero and villain alike? Or just wait for them to view him as a potential for their team? Either way he looked at it, it would take some kind of miracle. Truthfully, he hated being the hero. Hell, being the hero saved millions. Land of waves, land of lightning, land of wind, land of fire. Hell, he even saved the many other villages like the rain, waterfall, and grass. He saved so many lives. How was he repaid? Stolen property, stolen money, stolen inheritance, stolen knowledge, and more. His mind was sealed so many times, the only things he knew to be real now were with visual representations. Oh, that was not all. The 5th, so kind of his godmother. To seal his memories when Sakura decided to cheat on him for Lee. Who she cheated on him with Sasuke, and then Ino who he was engaged with, he found she was cheating on him with Sasuke the entire relationship. Now, those two, he could possibly understand, and the fact if all 3 had their memories sealed of those times, then fine, hell he'd even still be part of the village if those were the only 2. But then, the one he couldn't have sealed away, Tsunade didn't even know he was dating Tamari. Tamari. The last one. The last straw. He not only caught, had her admit, and have her tell him off about her fucking Shikamaru behind his back. But she then proceeds to, after a week of her breaking his heart, come back to him, only for the next day him find her doing it again. That was the last straw. He sighed, thinking since he was here, might as well enjoy life, enjoy things going on around him. Forget the past and those idiots, just let everything happen now. No more hero, but to hell if he was going to do, or allow to be done, things of the unspeakable like Pain did before he got to him, Madara after him, and more so. He would not be a villain because of his past, but he was not going to be a hero by any means. He sighed, resting his eyes for the next day. Kyuubi was in his mind, fumming at the thoughts passing in the young mon's head. To think, you could go through so much, still willing to give your life for a place, and they didn't think of the consequences. I am so glad you burned that place, but I am also glad you spared everyone. Your resolve is admirable, but if we are going to make this place home, the least we can do is find out where we are. He hummed in thought once more. The green one changed shape, but I did not feel chakra, nor did I see any hand seals. The orange woman was frighteningly similar to those warriors I met in space once, power bolts. The metal one is definitely a half human half robot, and the weapon is so timely. Then there was that one girl. Why do I get a demonic smell to her form? Her powers seem familiar. And that boy, who was he? While Naruto slumbered, he heard every word, knowing Kyuubi was just worried about him. He just didn't realize, thought or not, he was moving on. Finally, he was going to just have fun, and be him for him, no one else. In the morning he smiled, stretching as he finally had a good night's sleep for once. Hey, a few weeks either in a tree on hard ground or running for your life for days without it, you'd be tired too. He changed quick, seeing as he was going to go into town and see how he was going to get things going in his life. Sure, he could go out, do anything he liked, but seeing as how he didn't know this world it was dangerous. So he decided to go out and get some info. Yeah, his ninja training was going to pay off a lot right now, which he grimaced at. Ninja were stealthy, all he did when he was a ninja was battle out in the open like a maniac. Well, until he joined Anbu. Why dwell on the past? He found himself walking to crazy places, and kept thinking maybe he should not have tried going out today. He seen one shop that was full of shinobi gear, which made him think of home, then he seen an old food stand, reminding him of Ichiraku, and then he came upon a school which looked a lot like the academy. But thankfully those were past, and he found himself sitting in a place called Piano Pizza. Seriously, this place looked like a giant piano. No wonder they got that name. After a while, ordering some free tea, thankfully as today was Free Drinks Friday, he used his good ears to overhear people talking. Yada yada, how work was today, yada yada, what kind of flowers did a girl like, yada yada, how the Teen Titans caught yet another criminal. That caught his attention. Teen Titans. Was that the name of those guys? Before he could turn he saw a few people starting a ruckus. A big fellow, he could have sworn could have been descendant of giants, a small brat, as if he needed to see a kid following a big guy's example, and then a girl with pink hair. Who besides the eyes and skin, looked pretty much like his, in another world, X. He grimaced at the memories. If that girl just had the right skin and eyes. Man, why did a girl have to look like my bitch of an ex today? With all these memories, it's hard enough to enjoy the day. I mean come on, to finish all these pained past events, I have to stare at an almost twin sister of the two-timing bitch who cheated on me multiple times, breaking up and getting back with me 5 fucking times and still being a bitch. I digress. No more soccer a bitch, just focus on the present. The present was getting heated, as the little guy was bossing around the big guy, which was strange, but then again, so was the day he was having. Just as the guy was about to land a swinging punch on a lady, he threw the plate under his teacup at the guy. Said giant seen it coming and instead of punching the girl, punched the plate from midair. Alright, who did that? He looked around before seeing a strange man, drinking tea with what seemed to be a missing saucer nowhere to be found. He let the girl down and went over to the boy. Alright, you think it's funny huh punk? Let's see you smirk after this. He raised a fist and was about to slam it down, but Naruto kicked his foot, knocking the table from its hinges, and then bending forward with his elbow and making the table slam the man and move him over to the side. The giant growled. You asked for it. He raised another fist, but this time, Naruto blocked it, humming as it seemed he was only slightly struggling. I say, you're stronger than you look. But I dealt with heavier blows from my ex-girlfriend. The giant looked incredulous at the boy before raising it again, only for Naruto to grab the guy's hair, standing up now. Tell you what, let me show you never to hit a woman. And faster than anyone could even see, of even the giant could either, he raised his knee, pulling the giant's head down and slamming it, before raising the giant's head back up and lowering his leg, as if it never happened. The giant was silent for a moment before grunting an ouch and holding his head. Naruto waited till it was moved and did it again, and again, and again, each time waiting for the ouch and clear shot. Since he noticed everyone looking at them weirdly, as if they didn't see it, he shrugged. Here, let me put it in slow motion. He then slammed his knee against the giant's head again, this time holding it for people to see before pulling the head back up and lowering his leg back again. Everyone then looked shocked. The giant growled, holding his head. That's it. Alpha formation. Naruto then seen the other two come after him, the boy's backpack gaining wings and flying at him, and the girl flipping like a gymnast to get over to him. He sighed, thinking why not, he felt like getting a fight or two in today. The girl suddenly had a pink ball form in her hand and then the static hit the tables, which suddenly came flying at him. He thought, why not test his new technique? He yawned as the table then closed, and when they got close, they shattered into dust and fell to the floor. The girl was shocked. He looked at her curiously. What, do I got something on my face? She looked incredulous too, before growling, sending a few shocks at him directly. He smiled as they hit and nothing happened. He grinned. That all ya got? She grinned. I bet you can't even walk right. He took it as a challenge and suddenly appeared before her and knocked on her head. Sorry, you were saying. She screamed at the closeness and fell back, instinctively flipping back on her feet like a cat. The little dude flying around suddenly activated 4 spider legs, one trying to slam Naruto. Naruto just took the hit to the head, but instead of flying off, he stayed put, freaking everyone out. He looked around away from the leg and seen them shocked. Again, do I have something on my face? The other leg came swinging around and tried to hit his face, only to be shattered by his head. The flyer groaned and backed off, getting his pack going. Naruto yawned. Seriously, you're not so tough. I fought Genin tougher than you. He waved it off as if nothing. The giant rushed in again, trying for a surprise attack. Naruto kicked behind him, making the giant fall forwards before he grabbed the fist and turned the behemoth onto his back, swinging him around his waist before finally slamming him to the ground in front of him. The girl decided to use her own skills, flipping forward again, jumping like before but this time slamming a hell into Naruto's head, only to be caught, swung around a little, him grabbing her arm, their waists touching as he swung her before letting her feet touch the ground and him holding her up by her arm. She looked up as if she was being in a romantic fling off your feet kisses, but him standing as if nothing happened, holding her hand to keep her from falling butt first against the giant's chest. Naruto yawned again. Seriously. Last night I had a better fight. I actually tried to dodge people. The flyer tried to ram him, thinking the force of his suit and the balance issue of the guy was going to give him an edge. Mistake. Error. Does not compute. He slammed into the ground as Naruto grabbed his head and pointed him to the ground, making him slam head first to the concrete. Naruto shrugged, letting the girl go and stepping back to his broken table and getting the tea he left on the floor intact and drank the rest. As he got done, the three stood back up and were about to go when a voice called. Gizmo, Mammoth, Jinx, I thought I'd find you here. They suddenly looked scared to shit. Naruto looked at the origin walking to them, a man with pointed blonde hair and a white robe. They bowed, asking forgiveness. He smiled. I will this time, seeing as, even though you skipped class, you found an interesting potential. They chuckled and smiled nervously, hoping they wouldn't get their asses kicked soon. He walked to Naruto and bowed humbly. My name is Brother Blood, and I would be honored if you would join me for a cup of coffee later. Maybe we can speak of you joining a school I created, maybe you'd enjoy being a thief and villain. Naruto felt a tug on his mind, and smirked, seeing that the man was trying to go all psychic on his brain pattern. He felt this many times fighting Ino, who just wanted him to shut up and die a few times. Thankfully, Kyuubi had helped create a very powerful mental block. He thought what the hell, a thief sounded good, watching only his back, getting what he wanted, seeing as he was mostly unable to have anything. He would want to finally have something. He nodded. Sure, why not? A thief sounds up my alley. But forget a villain, I don't do that crap. Blood smiled back. Excellent. To tell the truth, I am a thief myself, but I do get myself into more trouble than normal. So I help people find their way now. Naruto nodded, seeing the logic. Can't be the thief you want to be. Help others do so. Sounded good. He shrugged, starting to walk off. Let me get my stuff. Oh, and before I forget, I am new, so to speak. I would like to figure things out I don't know about. After getting a yes from the man, he walked off, smiling more. A thief, veteran, who was from this world, should be able to give him some good information. Naruto got his stuff from the old building. He walked out and seen Blood had followed and they went off, Naruto following into an underground facility. He had to admit, this place felt like it could be fun, especially if he decided to go for being a thief, might as well know the rules. He entered the door to see some students running along and Blood smiling. Welcome to the HIVE. XXX 1 week later XXX. Naruto was in his normal garb for being a student now, also known as Kitsune. He wore a red cloak with 9 black streaks over his body. It covered near everything, and his mask made him look mysterious enough, a fox with the kanji for 9. He was to report to the entrance exams, and participate. As he entered he found himself at a disadvantage, as most of these kids were known for being great thieves or villains. He groaned. If he was going to beat these guys, he'd need to be his normal self. If normal is even the right word. Blood rose from the pillar and smiled down at them. Welcome all. I have to say, we have a promising batch this time around. I wonder how well you all do. Those who have not done this exam, I am going to give you the rundown. During the day you and fellow examinees will go against each other in one-on-one matches. The challenger decided the rules and the conditions of the match, and the challenge will follow them, and try to win. Naruto thought it might not be so bad. Maybe he could pick Jinx in a one-on-one. Seeing as how she had no affect on him whatsoever. Blood continued though. The range of the matches can go anywhere between fighting one another to kick some can as you'd put it, a gauntlet of traps and corridors to see if you can steal, or pillage better and or faster, or even to see who can cheat in anything, hacking or even simple things like arm wrestling. Pick your challenge and hope it comes true. Oh, and, if you're challenged, you cannot escape it, so hope you challenge first. As soon as the speech was over everyone left. There was a limit in which you could ask and could not. They currently had to wait half an hour. He was going to his room when Jinx and her 2 teammates stopped him. So, you think just because you beat us in the parlor, you can beat anyone, huh? I seen some moves like that, ninjutsu, right? Naruto looked at the pink-haired girl like she had a second head. How the hell did she know anything about ninja? She grinned. Tell you what, let's see who's the better ninja. I have a friend who's taking this exam again. Her name is Cheshire, she's a kunoichi. Fight her fair and square in a fight, and I will not only accept you beat us, but also you can do whatever you want to me. She may try to hide it, but she was secretly crushing on him. Sure, he beat the snot out of her team like it was nothing. But something else picked at her. He didn't hurt her, he didn't try to hurt her, and yet he took her down so easy. Not only that, but her powers didn't even seem to faze him at all. She hit him directly with a hex bolt and not a damn thing bad happened to him. She was mostly alone because of her powers. The only ones she could allow near were those who didn't care, and even those who she cared for, she'd hold back her power to keep from hurting them. But sometimes it seemed as if love was beyond her reach, because one false move and her powers could accidentally stop the guy's heart. She wanted to know if he truly was immune, and if so, she would put the moves on him. Until then, she needed to know his strength. And what better way than to have him beat her friend? Naruto sighed, seeing he was going to have a hard time. Sure, he wouldn't mind a fight, and ninja or not, he was in a different world, he just wanted to cut loose, not be stealthy unless he needed to be. He'd be stealth-like on a heist, but otherwise, be himself. He nodded. Fine. And what I want you to do is stop spying on me for a week. You know it's creepy for a girl to be following me so much they are almost willing to go into the boys' bathroom just to see who I am. Jinx blushed before growling out. As if, how do you know it's me? Besides, maybe you just can't stop checking me out, huh? You're the one following me, ninja boy. Before she could retort any further, he just chuckled and vanished. Gizmo chuckled. He may have snot for brains, but he's a ninja, no doubt. Though that does suggest whom is following whom. Huh, Jinx. He turned to see her blushing in frustration over the boy that left. Mammoth smiled. Come on, Jinx, let's go. You have to study for your favorite class, and I know how much you want a sparring partner. He knew she loved acrobatics, and to her, fighting was her acrobatics. She nodded, sighing and smiling. Fine, but you know, he's not a bad guy considering he peeked on me once. She blushed at the memory. He accidentally knocked her down, and it was his room, but still, he knocked her down when she tripped coming in. He chuckled when she left a few minutes later. About how she should stop wearing skirts, and he saw the color of her panties. During lunch he stepped up to Cheshire. Hey, got a challenge yet? I challenge you. Cheshire, although grinning with the mask, was also grinning behind it as she turned, standing. You got to me first. I was hoping to fight another ninja. Name your terms. Naruto nodded. After lunch, battle till one yields and no killing. Cheshire chuckled darkly. You were on shinobi, bastard. She got her lunch and walked off. He sighed and ate his before going to the arena. He stood before her a few minutes later, both ready as blood called their fight. Fight till you surrender. Go. Cheshire disappeared from view, slowly, and the only thing remaining was the grinning mask. Naruto sighed seeing the resemblance to the famous cat. He waited, pushing his chakra out and waiting. He felt something behind him and activated a jutsu, the same as when the tables smashed, smacking her back and into a wall. She growled. What did you do? Naruto waved a finger. Ninja are supposed to keep secrets. Come on, I thought you were better than this. He made a motion with his hand, saying, come on, and smirked, waiting for her to move. She disappeared once more and he thought, hell, why not allow something to hit him for the fun of it? He seen a mask suddenly appear in front of him, smirking, and then a punch slammed into his face. He just stood there. Everyone gaped and he smiled. Seriously, if this is it, I better just sit down and stare at the ceiling. Better yet, I'll kick your ass. Naruto kicked her away, but before she could disappear, he raised a hand, and she was suddenly being pulled by an invisible force. He reeled the hand he raised up at her back and then punched her in the gut hard, sending her away. She didn't get far, however, as the other hand raised and made her come at him once more. He grabbed her face mask, pulling her down so her feet were planted, then slammed the girl down to the floor, making her lift off a little more from the force. He stepped away, his back to her as she suddenly got hit by another invisible force and hit the wall yet again. He sighed, but then, seeing her panting and get up finally, he smiled. You have stamina and endurance, a fine trait I don't often see in kunoichi. Kudos, but I have something in my bag of tricks. Let's see you top this. Naruto snapped his fingers and suddenly a tornado of wind picked up around him, a literal tornado as the wind was blowing some people back a little. He smirked behind his mask seeing Cheshire get her claws out and stick to the floor to stay still. As the wind picked up he could have sworn the curtains raised and he saw someone he didn't think was possibly there. But meh, why fret? He could let things play out. Anyway, he had a fight to win, and then snapped his fingers yet again. The wind didn't pick up, but it swirled with lightning, thus creating a tornado made out of wind and lightning so bad that some systems blew up and fried the arena to hell. Cheshire was shaking in her boots. The hell was this ninja? Controling the wind and lightning as if it were nothing. Who was he? Naruto chuckled darkly. Does Kitsune have to slap a bitch? Because you can run, you can hide, but I will always find you. I will always have the powers to kill you and you be at my mercy. Surrender. Sadly she was too shocked to answer. So he decided to shock her into reality. He pointed two fingers at her, his hand making the image of a gun and then jerking it, as if firing and fire it did, as when it fired, a link of lightning-powered wind blasted forward at Cheshire. She yelped and used her speed to run, forgetting her powers as trying to would make things worse. She jumped away and he followed her, firing, again and making her jump again and again. After 5 times he chuckled, remembering a movie he's seen. I know what you're thinking. Did I shoot 5 bullets or 6? But you're forgetting to ask yourself the real question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do ya, punket? He fired again and she jumped out of the way again and he grinned. Last chance. Forfeit or I kick your ass. She was being snuffed out as her voice was betraying her, unable to speak and stop the fight. He shook his head. Oh, so unwise. He lifted a leg behind him, spinning on the other a full 360 turn. Halfway his leg hit the ground and skidded before his legs were wide apart and he crouched, slamming his hands together. Get ready. He raised his hands and then ripped them from each other's grip, and when he did, the tornado did too, 2 huge arms sparking with lightning and spinning with wind coming at the sides. Then a face appeared, roaring with the sounds of lightning cries. Cheshire was unable to speak, so her yelling at such a sight was unthinkable. She couldn't raise her hands as she was stuck to the floor so she wouldn't fly off or into the tornado. Hey, if you had to fight something with only the power to go invisible, which was useless to someone like this, you'd want to just put your head between your legs and kiss your ass goodbye. Naruto slammed a hand down in front of him, and the tornado followed it to slam its own sparking hand on top of Cheshire, who knew it was a good idea to. She did, barely dodging the hand, and then Naruto spun his arms wide to the side, both arms of the tornado doing the same as she jumped high in the air to dodge, succeeding, but then the hands twirled and made a big twister under her. Naruto thought of a good way to end this. But sadly it would cost him. The tornado dissipated and was gone now. Cheshire panted, mask still grinning, but her real face as if she saw her life flash between her eyes. And she did, and was hoping she would never relive it again. She seen Naruto heaved over, not moving. She thought this was her chance and went invisible, going for the finishing punch. Sadly, was not meant to be as he punched her stomach again, making her turn visible and look at him. Gotcha. Let's see you continue when humiliated. He threw her back and she growled, getting up. He chuckled, holding her sash. Might want to cover up. She blushed and eeked as she was forced to close her dressings. She growled. Fine, yield. I was trying to, but your stupid tornado got me so scared I couldn't talk right. Blood came down as Naruto gave her the sash back. Brilliant. You pass and are a member of our group now. That is a good thing. So, let us go make your classes, shall we? Naruto smiled, nodding his head. Fine, but tell me what I need to know before I change my mind. He wanted to know more about this world. Everything, but sadly, things were going to be hard for him. He knew it. 1 year. A whole well, not a whole stinking year, more like 320 days. But in that time, he learned everything he abso-fucking-lutely needed to know. And stuff he wish he didn't have to go learn. Okami, that blood guy, was a slave driver when it came to school-related business. First week, he learned everything about the definition of all types of heroes and villains in this world. From the cops and robbers, to the Teen Titans and the Hive, to the Justice League of the Brotherhood of Evil. He had to admit, learning how varied that kind of shit was in this world to his own helped him figure out how to be himself and a thief here. Kyuubi had a spat after he finally figured out what world they were in. Shit, Kit, Kami be damned, all to the fiery depths of hell. Not this world. How the hell are we supposed to go up against all those asshole heroes? Oh Kami, why do you torment me so? Kuso kuso kuso. Naruto was thoroughly confused by the rant in his head, and he had to hold back the pain raging in him because of the fox in his fucking mouth. What the hell, you stinking fox? What's got you so worked up that you're going to give me a headache the size of my confusion? Kyuubi sighed and growled deeply. Alright, listen and listen good. When I was roaming free before I was passed on through the Uzumaki family, I visited every single dimension known to Kami, except prison worlds, because I really didn't want to be locked away. This world is going to be hard on you. Naruto was about to ask, when Kyuubi explained it to him. They just taught you about the Justice League. I know them. 7 members in all if I count right. Wonder Woman, The Flash, Green Lantern, Hawkwoman, Martian Manhunter, Batman, and finally Superman. Kyuubi then proceeded to tell them their powers and abilities, and for each one, he felt not to bring upon their wrath. Someone like Sakura, a guy faster than Lee at full speed, a guy with an ability like Gaara's, a woman who was half animal and could kick his ass if given the chance, a Martian with so many abilities to kick his ass with he lost count, and then came Kyuubi's explanation of the biggest threats. Batman and Superman, get me Kit. Batman is your average, everyday man during the day. He pays his bills, sees politicians, tries to help people with his spare time, and does your normal stuff. He has no special abilities, he has no powers beyond human comprehension. Naruto scoffed at that, wondering how that could be a fucking threat. By night he puts on some black tights, dresses like a bat, and he has a mind so sharp you could cut me up and feed me to the fishes with it so fast you'd be next before you have a chance to breath. And he is only human. Not to mention he has extensive martial arts training and could kill you with his pinky in a second if you didn't take him fucking seriously. Oh, and let's not forget this little tidbit, he's also a fucking ninja with so many bells and whistles and gats in his belt he could open one and knock you out with a trank. Naruto perked up and was paling at that. If he didn't at least get his mind straight and take this guy seriously, or even use his full strength, he'd be in trouble. Then Kyuubi gave him Superman. Superman is another fucking alien. During normal hours, peace and quiet, he is in a business suit, and normally looks human, and tries to fit in, but when shit hits the fan he goes into a fucking phone booth and comes out with red tights on the outside and a cape and becomes Superman, your worst fucking nightmare. He can withstand even my most powerful attack and not die. He will be knocked the fuck out. For about a few minutes before groaning and getting on his feet tired, getting his energy back so quickly it's impossible, then tries to kick ass once more. That is just his resilience. His eyes can see through anything except lead-based objects, shoot beams of heat so hot it could burn the fucking sun. He has strength enough to rip this entire planet in half at full strength, as fast as the fucking Flash, either on land or flying in the air, and not to forget, he is about half as sharp as Batman, and given how what I said about Batman is spot on and 100% true. Besides the part about his mind able to cut me up, that was just a representation. That's not something to laugh at. Naruto was now scared shitless with this. He did not want to face off against the League anytime soon. So he would be a thief, keep the Titans off his back, nothing serious that makes those guys want to go after him. Naruto blinked. Wait, so, if you know this much about the League, then why not about the Titans? Kyuubi sighed. I do now, but still not half as much as I wish. The boy in red, he's Batman's student. From what I see anyway, I don't know how good he is, but we will find out, huh? The green boy, never seen a thing like him before, gotta be mutated by some kind of chemicals. The big boy in metal, he's a cyborg, half human, half robot, all badass. You will learn about technology here, learn that and see what I mean. The orange girl with the purple outfit. She is an alien as well, just like Superman. She is not from the same planet, or in the same league. Her people can only manipulate energy based off their emotions, whatever they feel could change their powers quick, but most of the time they use either martial arts, or energy-based projectiles, normally bolts like what were thrown, and I-beams, no worries not like Superman's, but still hurts like a motherfucker. Super strength, super speed, not as much, but still, and I will never forget the best part one love the girls for. They transmit knowledge through lip contact. Meaning they kiss you and they can give you all their knowledge, or take yours. Still it's a hell of a make-out session. Naruto grinned at that, wondering if he could get a taste of those lips to see what it all was about. But he digressed. Kyuubi didn't talk about the other girl. With good reason. I don't know her. Ability to bend objects' wills to her own, manipulate some kind of dark energy. I felt something demonic too, but only half. It's something weird I can't figure out about her, but it just doesn't feel right. I don't know why. So let me think on it more. Let me gather information from when you fight her, and when that's over with I can give you a better answer. Naruto accepted that, since he got all the information he needed for the day and needed a nap. He was thankful to finally figure things out. And over the next few days he would find out everything he could about this world from Kyuubi. Second month he decided to give explosives and blasting a try, seeing as he would never know when he needed a good explosive or two-handy in case of emergency. But he found that not only were the chemicals cheap, but could be made on such a high concentration and level they could rival C4 and be at least half the price. He was so glad he had brought everything he needed in a sealing scroll, because this, C4 feat sounded only half as powerful compared to his explosive notes. Fourth month. Oh what a month, he had time to himself, finally remembering he had clones. And sent them to class and went out to train himself in his techniques, and boy did he get good. His chakra manipulations and control were higher than any Kage in history, especially considering the Kyuubi. His wind and lightning control and manipulations were at a degree only Kami could match. He also had finally figured this entire world out, and was thankful this was it, because if it was anywhere else Kyuubi thought might have been it, he would most certainly be dead by now. So he just enjoyed his time as it were, and did things his own way, finally able to let loose. For the next several months he made friends with Gizmo and Mammoth, and for some reason Jinx was trying to hit on him. He felt he needed to stay away from her for a while longer, at least to figure out if she is like Sakura or not. But he was good friends with the other two, maybe Private Hive, but he was such a laid-back or action-based dude, making any friendship with him was as hard as his so-called boot camp. Jinx wasn't the only girl after him, he had an offer or two from other Hive girls around, but the two that were borderline stalkers were Jinx and Cheshire. He had to admit, unlike Jinx, Cheshire was a hell of a stealthy kunoichi for this world, and his ability to read chakra was ineffective at finding her, so if she was hidden on the ceiling, unless he personally inspected every inch of it, he'd never find her. Except she did make a few mistakes, and he did have the ability to sense people watching him. Thank his past and the hateful glares, he knew if someone was watching him. He had fun while it lasted, really it was fun, but he needed out of this hellhole the master called a school. He even had a perfect plan to use their own teachings against them. One night he decided he'd go see Gizmo. Gizmo was currently working on something for him, a mask with a visor, that way he could see things better in this world without using his chakra. So how's it going, Nugget for brains? Oh yeah, he learned the best way to get along with Gizmo, joke around just like him. Gizmo grinned, letting the lens over his eyes raise and look at Naruto. Well shit liquor, what are you doing here? I didn't expect you for another 2 hours. Naruto shrugged. Got nothing better to do, Jinx is off with Stone, and Mammoth is currently swooning over Leviathan. What am I going to do for the next 2 hours? I know, talk with a real friend. Gizmo snickered, going back and zapping some circuits into place. Well, Jinx and Stone have been getting a little mushy lately, I wonder if she knows he's using some kind of hologram. Anyway, your new mask is taking a bit longer, it's a tough one trying to fit everything without losing the natural protective qualities. Sue, I decided on having you steal some things for me to make it better. Naruto grinned, seeing as that would give him something fun to do, and test his abilities if the securities were tough. Tell me what, where, the layout, and let's see if I can break the 12-hour record of thievery since Gone in 60 seconds. Gizmo loved that movie, mostly because of the cars, but hey, a boy can dream. Gizmo threw Naruto a disc. That's the place of each item, security layout, floor plans and all I could whip up in a jiffy, and what I need you to steal has function. At LexCorp there's a steel called Titan Omega, a special project I wanna test out, said to be as strong as Superman's own skin. At Wayne Int, there's a fabric-hardened goo, called Supreme Dragon Skin, supposed to cushion anything, and will never burn or heat to melting up to 300 degrees Celsius, and rip resistant, cold up to 300 below Celsius. It's abundant too from what I saw, enough to give you a whole fucking suit times 10, but it needs to stay in liquid form, so they put it in cryo. Naruto grinned as he kept talking. Seemed interesting. Anything else? Gizmo sighed, frowning. The third thing is a little tougher. It's locked up in the Titan's tower. Old Bird for Brains made a suit able to take out all the other Titans in a flash, and made of some slick stuff. I don't have much on it, all I got is the floor plans and vent panels. Their security is the shit, and I hate it, but I gotta respect Cyborg and his smarts. He knows exactly how to set up defense. Naruto grinned. Don't you remember who you are talking to, Fart Stain? I'm Naruto Uzumaki. Best damn ninja in this world. Gizmo gave a thumbs up. I'll even time you, now get out of here, crud muncher. I got work to do and things to plan out. XXX 10 p.m., middle of town XXX. Naruto was in cloak and mask, he was Kitsune, and grinned under his mask as he spotted all 3 targets, making 2 clones. Alright, I need you to go to LexCorp, steal the damn steel, and you, get the skin, but like he said, keep it in cryostasis. He told them and they vanished in the blink of an eye. He himself went to the tower. He was there and opened a panel on the roof. Okay, Pit Sniffer, time begins now. He said and he got a call back telling to go. He slipped in, sneaking silently, using his chakra to float without touching the metal, and slipped through the room's ventilation. He saw a weird training room, ordinary by most accounts but had many things inside it like toys and gadgets, and posts to train on. Robin. He went down more and found a weird draped pink room. Starfire, if my guess is correct. He hit a small file and newspaper-filled room and hummed. Either this is a collection gallery, or a briefing room. He went to the last room in this vent passage, it was a dark dang room, and he slid in, falling silently to the floor but then catching himself and floating in midair. He looked around, seeing nothing, so he hummed a quiet tune and pushed Hick Chakra through the giant lock in the door, unlocking it by creating a disruption, and when it unlocked he slid in without touching a thing and went to the back vault, smiling and silently thanking Gizmo for his floor plans. He seen the door was tougher to unlock, and it was too broad to just crack it. Naruto thought how Robin must have set this up, to where it would keep everyone out, but the vault was also partly in, as if keeping something in. What was this suit? He decided the hell with it and put a few paper bombs on the hinges and main points, and got back. He waited a few seconds and sighed. Here goes nothing. He put up a seal and the bombs blew, the door breaking off and landing away, and with that, he tripped the alarms. He sighed and grabbed the whole suit, everything and then putting it in a scroll he carried before running out the room, grabbing some tech as he did and then climbing through the same vent he came in, crawling like a madman until he was outside. He grinned seeing no Titan near, but then a black figure came from the floor and it was that Raven girl. Shit. She looked at him and put up her hands. Who are you? Just as that was said everyone surrounded him and he grinned. Thankfully, he placed a special item a good ways into the city as his getaway. He stood straight, putting up a hand. If I wanted you to know that, would I be wearing a mask? He then waved. Chow. Then in a gleam of yellow he was gone. Raven growled. That was the same kind of teleportation from that other guy a year back. Who is he? Robin groaned. You mean that masked dude Beast Boy said was a thief? Well, guess he was right, but why did he change his colors? Does he have many aliases so not to be caught by his true identity? They went back in and Robin searched with the others their rooms to check and see what he stole. Robin entered the Red X chamber and seen a few things missing and gasped, running to his vault. He growled and punched the wall. Damn, now this maniac has my suit. Does he plan to use it as his next mask? If anything bad happens, I know it's all my fault. Naruto sighed, grabbing his tri-pointed kunai and grinned. He then saw the other two use the same method and he collected the items in one scroll before he went back into the secret passage back to the hive. He chuckled. Time. Gizmo checked the clock after stopping his watch and gawked. Damn shithead. You actually pulled off a record. Try 2 hours and 15 minutes. You are good, but I have to inspect the shit to make sure. Bring it over tomorrow. I'm tired and going to bed. Oh, and Jinx said to get your butt to lunch tomorrow. Naruto sighed. Hi. Gizmo blinked in confusion before sighing. Just say yes, and only once will ya. That crud gets my brain rattling and I don't like it to be rattled this late at night unless I wish it. Naruto chuckled, and went back to his room. He saw Stone wandering the halls, sneaking around and followed him silently. He saw him behind a corner looking at his arm, which now looked robotic, and a visual image of Robin on it. He was talking and Naruto listened in. I can't talk right now, I've got studies to do if I'm going to get through this mission. Robin retorted. I realize that, but we just had a major break in here. I wanted to know if the hive is starting something again. Stone grumbled then thought of it. Sorry, nothing I heard, it's been quiet, just the simple practices studies and thefts around that I told you about. Why who broke in? What did they steal? Robin shook his head. I'd rather not say, but it's important. This guy was in a black cloak of some kind, but his mask was a fox mask, know anyone fitting that description? Stone thought and nodded. Yeah, Kitsune. He's a ninja, I mean literally. If he wants to hide from you, he will be able to no problem. He also has a drastic ability. I mean drastic. I heard rumors when he first started he made a tornado all by himself, no machines, just by snapping his fingers, and then proceeded to create it with lightning and shoot wind lightning combination bolts at his enemy. He said that was only a small chunk of his true power though, but I doubt it. He's chill, and knows his plans, he makes them and then does them perfect, no mistake, but only does things he wants, and last I checked, he had no reason to get at us. Robin sighed, looking down. Well, if everything is true, then I guess we were lucky. Raven says he's the same energy and used the same thing as the one guy a year ago, remember him? Stone nodded. Yeah, freaky. If he's the same dude, then no telling who he is. Robin nodded. Keep tabs. I wanna know everything about this Kitsune. Talk to his friends if he's not going to himself, don't blow your cover. Stone nodded. Roger. Cyborg out. He started walking and didn't notice anyone nearby and jogged back to his room. Naruto phased off the wall and grinned. Ah, Cyborg. No wonder I didn't see you. So a traitor in the hive. I guess I should wait for the opportune moment. He vanished and went to sleep in his room. The next day he was awake at near noon, because he was out so late. He went to Gizmo, who was currently asleep in his lab, seemingly to have went to sleep after inspecting the objects. Naruto grinned. Oh hey, sorry, Gizmo is too tired to go out with you but I'll give him the message. What? Oh, sure, you should wear the skimpiest two-piece to show him you like it. Gizmo jumped up to grab the invisible phone from Naruto's hand and growled. Naruto smirked before Gizmo went flying. You shit monkey piece of stained panties of a ninja. Damn you and your prankster side being better than mine. Naruto chuckled and knew Gizmo respected his skills and his pranks and loved them, just not how good he was at it, or how he did it to him. Naruto let Gizmo settle down then returned to work. Gizmo grabbed some pieces of metal. This shit is the shit alright, but they exaggerated, it's still the best thing known to man, I can make a pretty fine suit for you for all your trouble. He grabbed a small block of dragon skin. And I cannot believe this stuff, I was underestimating them, they had this shit contained at a chemical level, I can even reproduce the shit. Now, this thing is perfect for making suits. Want me to make you a good one? Naruto grinned, thinking Gizmo was having fun, so he nodded. Sure thing fart for brains, give me the best you can build. Gizmo grinned and opened the X suit. This shit stain is next. He gave it a quick fabric and systems analysis and grinned. Damn I was right, nice shit, flexible cloth like titanium for body armor, just not a cape like he has already. I wonder why he just doesn't make his normal suit like that. He then looked at the power source. Fuck me, the shit brain used that. The hell was bird brain thinning? Oh right nothing because he got a bird brain. Naruto, this shit he's powering the thing with is volatile. It's like, if not properly used, if not inspected, and not outright inspected every second, this shit is like a nuclear device. Naruto was confused. So why did he use it? Gizmo growled. Shit for brains had the suit's weapon systems and the power of the suit connected, meaning everything is connected to a single power line through the entire skeleton like a nervous system and the brain center. Which is more dangerous? When used as a power source, it's a nightmare to keep track on so you don't blow yourself to Pluto. Weapons. You got your new best friend, and both. You can keep track and use it well, which is the only smart thing, but he has it as a brain system, meaning it's more unstable. Naruto snorted. And he's the leader. Damn. I'm thinking, if you can make a suit do exactly like this on another power source like my chakra. Gizmo grinned wider. Sure thing. I already worked up a way to integrate. I thought since you were one of the best like me Jinx and Mammoth you'd need a way to keep your powers to a minimum, otherwise blowing us to smithereens. So snot breath, black or blue? Naruto thought on it and grinned. Black. I need to be stealthy after all. But I want a blood red tint to the black and give my new fox mask that cool X, makes it look even better. Gizmo snorted, working up the designs on a paper. Gotcha. This suit is Red X. What will you be called after I make the new suit? Naruto chuckled darkly. Kitsune X. Gizmo nodded. Alright, now out, time for my fingers to work. Oh, and by the way, the dance is coming next week, think of anyone you'd like to go with. That Cheshire chick seems really into you. I sometimes see her sneaking notes by you every time I catch it. And over the year I seen 10. Naruto snorted and rolled his eyes. Try 110. I've even put them into piles and burned them. Gizmo whistled. Damn, well why not? Seems to me like you two could find something to talk about. Naruto shook his head. Nah, the chick is seriously freaky. She's tried to stay invisible, hide past corners, and that's fine, but I also know she would rather kick my ass for that sash stunt I tried while at the same time giving me a kiss, so I'd be kissed and then stabbed in the back. A ninja has a tendency to stab people in the back. Gizmo snorted. Yeah, be sure to keep it in mind. You never know what she'll do. Trust me, she once gave me a scratch because she thought I was looking at her, then rubbing my head saying I was cute one time. The girl has serious bipolar issues. Naruto nodded and started walking out when Gizmo threw him something. Here, a little thing I made just for your leisure activities. Naruto looked at it and it was a device only about the size of a disc, and it had a dome. Gizmo grinned. It can store your chakra and burst it into a light of energy, creating a light screen to blind your enemies. I was thinking of adding it but I wanted your thoughts. Naruto stored it in and looked back, smiling. Thanks, I'll check it out sometime. He left and seen Jinx around the corner and grinned. Come on out Jinx, your stalking is getting better but I know you're there. She jumped out sending her most concentrated bolt of hex magic at him, hitting him dead on and he chuckled. You know that never works. In truth though, it did. His body would involuntarily start to overload, but thanks to his electrical control, he can undo any damage done to his nervous system and fix whatever is hexed. Not only that but Kyuubi's influence helped stop that magic dead, but it still hurt like a bitch when it was dead on with more power, like getting hit by a damn ice jutsu from Haku. Jinx sighed, pouting and crossing her arms. I wonder why but whatever, so you coming to lunch today? Naruto hummed in thought then nodded. Sure, got nothing better to do, but the second you and Stone decide to play tonsil hockey I'm gone. Jinx looked incredulous before laughing. You think I like that rock for brains? You lost it. I'm only seeing if he has potential as a boyfriend, even if he does make it, I'd never love him. She didn't say it, but added in her head. But you I would love if I ever found out why you are immune to my powers. Naruto put his mask back on and started to walk off. Yeah, well see you down there, I'll be catching up on my training. Jinx was intrigued, but decided not to follow him. Last time she did, she almost got herself blown to bits by flying arrow traps. Naruto knew how to not be followed. She groaned. Go ahead, see you at lunch, and if you are not there, I'll kick your ass from here to next week. He chuckled and nodded. Yes, and no worries. For my friends, I am always there. Jinx smiled and walked with him before splitting up down the hall and going separate ways. XXX 2 weeks later XXX. Gizmo grinned as he viewed the masterpiece he called a suit. Damn, this is the best thing I made, too bad it's still got some things missing. Like what? Gizmo yelped and jumped from his seat and fell on his head. He looked up to see a grinning Naruto. Damn you shit stain, you scared me half to death. He got up shrugging it off. Anyway barf stain, what's missing is the internal power systems, because of obvious reasons. Without knowing how the X suit worked miraculously, I had to do revisions, not only that I had to figure out if D even fit inside the thing. Naruto nodded, seeing how that would be hard to do normally. So, when can I try it on? Gizmo grinned. Right now, give it a shot. You can wear anything under it as long as it's not bulky. Naruto nodded going down to his ninja garb and sliding the suit on piece by piece and when it was all on he flexed and stretched himself around. He grinned saying something but the mask gargled his voice in a metallic tone. Not bad. He chuckled a bit. Fits nice, isn't restrictive, light for speed but I feel a little weight so I know I am protected. He dropped to his normal stance then flexed his arms up, and noticed a rod coming out of each elbow. What are these? Gizmo chuckled. Those are a surprise, just you wait. He nodded and took the thing off. Damn, it's even air conditioned too, I swear you are awesome Giz. Gizmo chuckled, standing proud. Naruto let a finger slide along the mask. Tell me when it'd done okay. Gizmo nodded. Oh, and can I have the X suit back? I thought of a way to test the power thing. Gizmo nodded and gave him the scroll and they sat down. Giz sighed. I swear, shit keeps getting in the way. I don't mind the shit stain headmaster, it's just what the hell am I supposed to do? I'm a techie and working on my tech is what I love to do, not that I don't mind fighting but how can I do anything besides build weapons and gear? Naruto chuckled. You know, instead of asking yourself what can I make gear-wise to kick ass, think of how you can make gear that will help you become strong enough to kick butt yourself. You and the gear are one, your brain is your best weapon, use it. But muscle is never a bad thing. Giz smiled. Thanks Crud Nugget. So, think you'll ever find a girl? Naruto chuckled. Don't ask me, I had 3 girls all broke my heart. Gizmo chuckled. True, but as you said, that was your world, here it may be different. Just give it a chance okay? Naruto nodded, giving Gizmo a small noogie. Gotcha barf bag midget. Giz laughed struggling. Cut it out. Naruto stopped and Gizmo nodded. Maybe Jinx would like you, she's been hanging around you more the stone, and that's saying something. Naruto shrugged. Yeah well she kinda looks like my worst ex. And I don't know if she is the same or not so I am just trying to bide my time to see if she is better or worse. Gizmo nodded. As a friend in front of her, I will say she's worse, because of her representative. But behind her back, as long as you keep your mouth shut, I can say it. She is a good person really, but shit happened in her life and her powers are too chaotic for any good, it demolishes everything and hurts people, what good can she do? She tried and failed and now has her only goal, being a thief, not a villain like people think. Naruto nodded, smiling sadly. Yeah, but you never know. So I am going to wait for the opportune moment. Gizmo grinned. Well, I'll see if I can't power this suit. See ya scrunch bucket. Naruto waved off and went down the hall and when he entered his room he grabbed a stack of paper bombs and grinned. Time to give them some homemade goodbyes. He grabbed a scroll from his drawer. And some things you taught me to complement my study project. Hehehehe. He disappeared and went through every vent that day, placing bombs from his and the ones he made from class, and he found interesting things. Like, in the gym were tripwires, and snickered. Rigged games. He found something in the mess hall too, lasers, in case things went out of control. Well guess this is a prone violence place, very susceptible. And lastly, the girls' locker room showers and a few girls' rooms, cameras. Pervert, but I guess I can't blame him, he is a guy, and has urges like everyone else, and a master of a school full. Still such a perv, I'd never do this. He giggled perversely. Though I would peep from time to time if I felt like it. He placed the last bombs and got back to bed, waiting for the next day, imagining when he shot them all off. Even if someone were to find his class bombs, his paper ones were hidden so well and no one knew their threat so they would still be there. XXX 2 days later XXX. Naruto was chuckling evilly and rubbing his hands together. You are an evil genius. Gizmo grinned his arms over his chest proudly. You got it pit sniffer. In front of Naruto was his suit, complete and ready to go. The exoskeleton was a black titanium cloth wrapped around plates of the super steel and dragon skin. The arms had the poles still, BTU he saw why now, a sword in each because they were sheaths, and a sheath on the back. The mask looked way too awesome to be real, it was a fox mask more fox-like than a mask should be, and a big blood red X over the face and a part of it striking the eye. Gizmo turned, grabbing a piece of the whole armor. Alright, let me explain. The black titanium cloth is over the whole thing, but just under it is the dragon skin, it's a good thickness to absorb even a nuclear force explosion, but still being light and thin, and inside the skin but poking out so it doesn't ruin the stuff and gives the best protection, is the steel plates. I made them separate to give maximum movement, but not too far apart that the only way they hit you is with a lucky hit or know where the plates are. Naruto was drooling. Meaning a puddle was forming he was drooling so much. Gizmo continued. Alright, now the mask. Now, the thing is spray painted, but the thing is literally that steel, you're gonna be protected like hell. Under it is a good sized layer of the skin, the systems however are everything you could dream for. It had a HUD, or, heads-up display, meaning you can see everything including your suit's damage, your breathing air, and your cooling and heating systems. I put in something that with voice command will bring up different visions too, here they are. X-ray, V-ray, ultraviolet, infrared, and scoped, meaning you can see farther if need be. Naruto giggled like a kid in a candy store, or how he was before, Adobe in a jutsu catalog. Come on Gizmo, Don, hold me in suspense, what else you got? Gizmo grinned wider. The suit is all you got, shithead. The defense is awesome and you can do whatever the old X suit could too. Not only that, but the swords can automatically, by finger pressing the palm button hidden in the hand, but the back one you pull out your own. Not only that, but here, I thought you'd enjoy this. Gizmo handed Naruto one of the swords and it was amazing. It was made of flexible but superb steel, not like the one he stole, but still decent, and it had a diamond hard and razor sharp edge. Damn. Hey, what's this? He saw a seal on the handle. Gizmo grinned so wide he looked like his head split in two. I borrowed a scroll you learned a seal to let you put chakra in that blade. I actually did it to all the blades and even put a seal inside the full tang blade. I think it was called Hira-ishen. Whatever that is. Naruto just stared at his friend. For me. Damn. Well thanks. You're the best Gizmo, and it's pronounced Hiraishin, or in your language, since I learned it thanks to my knowledge, Flying Thunder God Jutsu. Thanks. I will never lose the blades now. Gizmo bowed and Naruto clapped. And Naruto sealed the suit and got in costume as Gizmo and he went off to see what Blood wanted. They seen Stone, Jinx and Mammoth on a hexagon and stood beside them. What's up? How's the weather up here? Stone laughed. Haha. Very funny. Blood wants us to take on some intruders. They were risen up and into the final exam arena and then the Teen Titans came through the door ahead. Naruto grinned when seeing Cyborg in the group. Nice, having a duplicate you in case people thought you quit. Blood had them start and Stone led them. Attack pattern alpha. Naruto sighed, jumping in and knowing if he didn't fight he was going to have a hard time getting his moment. Who said he had to fight the Titans? He slammed a fist against Mammoth and threw him to the Titans as the fake cyborg came in, knocking both down hard before blocking a strike from Robin who went for an aerial attack with his metal staff. Robin growled. You stole the suit. Naruto chuckled and threw the kid at Gizmo in the air and knocked him down too. Beast Boy changed into a big ape and threw a punch but Naruto caught the arm and kicking the boy in the stomach forced him into the air and dropped him hard against the floor and then sliding him back against Stone. Jinx growled, slamming her feet against his defending arm. Whose side are you on? Naruto flipped her off his arms, holding her from behind. Mine. And I always have been. Jinx growled, hitting the floor with her hex bolts and making the ground shake, and Naruto let go. She sent more, coming after him as he dodged every bad luck thrown object and debris from the cracking floor. Naruto whistled, he never knew she was so good at fighting. She stopped and slipped past his arm reach and slammed her fist in his stomach, making him slide back, but he kept on his feet and rubbed his stomach. That wasn't nice. What did I do? Jinx growled more. You betrayed us. Naruto shrugged. What gave you that idea? I'm not betraying you. Just Blood. The guy is seriously wacko. Jinx huffed and tried to kick him in the head but he dodged. Hey now. I never wanted to leave on bad terms. Can't you give me a chance? I thought you liked me. Jinx threw her best bolts around him making everything try to crush him to bits but they just turned to dust and flew away. She stood still. Of course I liked you, but betraying us is something I don't like. What the hell made you betray our trust? Naruto clicked his tongue. Too bad. Let me give you reasons I betrayed Blood, not you. 1. I'm a thief, not a villain. I steal, and take what I can and give nothing back. He is so not my style. 2. I stole what I wanted, and I still hope to be friends, because you guys are great. And 3. The shithead Blood creeps me out, trying to put me under mind control. Jinx looked a little confused why it bothered him. Naruto scoffed. I know you're bad luck and he gets backlash but not everyone has that advantage. I know of at least a dozen times people were manipulated fully, or a few people who were fully controlled to being his pets. I do not want that on me or you guys, so I will blow his shit up. While he and Jinx fought, the Titans got caught, Stone became Cyborg, and Cyborg turned to the hive, then fired at Blood. Naruto put up a seal and pressed a button behind his back and with the explosive power Cyborg gave, his own rocked the base and it was being completely destroyed. Naruto waved off. See you three again, I still hope to be friends. He vanished again, a Hiroshima kunai just outside and he came to it. He put it away inside. I do wish they made it out okay. Oh well, what now? I know. Let's see if I can give the Titans a scare with their precious suit. He slid into the shadows and put it on before going to LexCorp, grinning under the mask. Let's round us up a bird. Naruto hummed as he searched for the scanner he needed to locate more power for this suit. Wonder where it could be. He was ripping through crates to find the special zenithium locator, thinking 2 things. 1. That's what Red X would do, and 2. If he got some, he could find a use for the stuff that won't blow him to the moon. He grinned as he held it in his hand picking it out. There you are. Freeze. He turned to see the Titans all decked out to cause him tons of harm. He chuckled. Didn't think you'd be here so fast. Beast Boy shook his head. Red X. I thought Robin was Red X. As everyone was shocked, but Robin, who was scowling, the tension was high. Naruto chuckled in the metallic voice the mask gave him. Think again. Naruto powered the suit's functions and threw multiple X shuriken at the Titans. Seeing them flee, he chuckled. They are pretty quick on the uptake in fighting, gotta give them that. He saw Raven blocked with her energy and ran up to see how good she was at hand to hand. Seeing her pull up a shield last minute to block him, he used the edges like a solid wall and flipped behind her, kicking her back and sending her flying back for a few feet. He made and held an X shuriken and tossed it at her, but a green bolt hit it before it had the chance, and destroyed it. Nice aim. To knock one of my shuriken out of the water, she has to have battled against tossers before. Oh well, what a waste of good woman. He ran from the highly dangerous bolts coming his way and seen a chance, flipped under a beam he was coming at, and threw himself on top of her, kicking her down and him up. He seen her recover and grinned under his mask, blasting red energy against the walls and let them crisscross and hit her hard. He landed, pleased he was able to get some functions of the suit to work right. Must be his adaptability. He looked and saw Beast Boy change from flying dinosaur to gorilla in a second to hit him, and Naruto grabbed the big arm coming down on him, kicking the legs from under the beast and threw him hard from rafters to the floor of the warehouse, giving Beast Boy a good slam attack. He seen Cyborg coming his way and blasted an X from the suit's controls, not knowing what it did, but pleased as it hit, deflected for a moment then stretched against the boxes and pulled them into Cyborg. He was very pleased with that one, meant he could do some real good trapping with it later. He seen as Beast Boy behind him changed back to normal and got up, Starfire to the left of Beastie charged with star bolts, and Raven coming from the shadows to the right of him. He grinned seeing Cyborg get up from the debris and aim his cannon. He couldn't help himself. Chuckling, he pointed to his chest. Come on kids, X marks the spot. He was surprised at the teamwork suddenly, as Cyborg blasted, making him go airborne, and then having star bolts cross his path he had to twirl in midair to just dodge them, and the crates being thrown from Raven, he was lucky not to be hit currently, but landed, and was surprised their aim to trap him near a gorilla Beast Boy was spot on. He didn't see a function in the suit to help him here without killing poor Beastie, so he just used his super speedy chakra-induced feet to vanish from sight under Beast Boy, and behind him, jumping onto the boxes. He grinned. Not bad. Although they need more experience and need to gain more training against a heavier fighter like me, they could easily take a Genin squad, maybe even a new Chunin, but that's pushing it. Whoa. He found himself suddenly tackled by Robin, and that was impressive. Okay, with their tactical skill and Robin's stealth, that does it, Chunin level. That dark stuff is solid. Metal Man there is heavy with advanced metal to not feel too much. Beastie seems to have adopted animal strengthened body, and as Kyuubi said, that alien girl is resilient. Chunin for sure. He hit the ground with that thought, and flipped over to land on his feet in front of Robin, and looked to see Robin not only land too, but crouched and throwing boomerangs at his head with decent speed. He vanished again, this time behind Robin. He saw Robin still and quickly threw a punch, only for Robin to slide to the side and dodge, and as he threw the next punch, Robin rolled forward, his legs shot up and catching his arm and throwing him. Naruto saw a function pop up suddenly and grinned, seeing it was to teleport, and he used it, going from upside down and about to hit his head on the ground, to on his feet and looking at a charging Robin throwing a punch. Naruto dodged it quick, and seeing the second he grabbed the arm, twisted it down, pivoting his body to the side and behind Robin before tossing the kid from his shoulder behind him to the ground. He jumped up and tried a falling drop kick, but Robin caught the foot, and redirected it last second and threw Naruto off to the side against some crates. As Naruto grunted from the impact, although not bad it still hurt, he got caught with a hand to the face forcing his head back again. Damn kid, not bad, he is definitely my type of opponent. Hand to hand is so much better than doing things with chakra. A little more training, this kid could even be a hard to handle opponent hand to hand. Robin growled. Why did you steal this suit? What do you hope to accomplish by stealing something you don't obviously need? Naruto chuckled in his metallic masked voice. I'm a thief kid, plain and simple, I steal what I want, nothing else matters. Besides, I thought this suit looked fun, and wanted to take it on a joyride. Loving it so far, and with that, grabbed Robin's arm and treated him to a little red X shock therapy. After getting loose from the hold and throwing Robin into some crates, the other titans came from nowhere, and Cyborg charged his cannon, Raven spoke up. Azareth Metrion, Naruto threw an X from the hand, hoping it did something against them, and it did, it hit them both and the black energy of Raven wrapped and shocked Cyborg, and his electrical energy shocked Raven suddenly. He chuckled. Looks like your wires got crossed, better take a look at the red one. Making a crack at himself to them. He jumped back seeing starbolts coming his way, and to say he was surprised was to say that he never stole the X suit. He knew it was coming, and dodged back, but seen a barrage like no other come to him, and rolled forward to dodge, as she charged and almost hit the ground to hit him, before flipping up, and he jumped high to dodge the bolts and threw another X, and seeing it solidify and hit her back and trapping her against the wall he chuckled, seeing this as a good opportunity to get under the Titan's skin. He jumped up and came face to face with her. You know, the only thing wrong with this picture is I never got to ask for a date with Yo, and he saw her eyes glow green and blast eye beams. Ugh, seems she has more than bolts, so better be careful. He hit the crates after being hit by the beams and saw Beast Boy charge and change into a bear. He growled and slammed his hand into the floor, hoping something would happen to stop him in his tracks, and the floor split open in a big X, and Beast Boy fell in. Naruto chuckled more. See you next fall. Next time watch your step. He went to see Robin, and seeing he was still alive, started running, and finding Robin had gotten up quick and started chasing him, blasted restriction X's at the kid's feet. Tying him up, he stopped, smiling. Better luck next time, and thanks for the suit. He pressed the X on the belt to teleport out of there, but sadly the thing short-circuited and he cursed. Great timing. He seen Robin get up and break the restraints, and he himself ran and jumped out the window onto the roof and ran across the building, seeing Robin hot in pursuit. Naruto smiled at the challenge. Seriously, if he's this good to keep up with me normally, and fight with me holding back like that, and still chase me for more, this kid is a hell of a rival in this world. Naruto punched his belt in anger to get it working and seeing it static before settling to work, he grinned. He saw Robin go for the tackle and jumped out of the way, turning midair. Catch y'all later. And vanished into the shadows. Robin stopped, looking in frustration at letting X vanish like that. He felt Starfire come up near him and didn't do much till she started poking him all over and yelped in pain at the harsh pokes before and grabbing her hand. That hurts. She looked curious and poked him more and more, and he was enduring it as she spot. Last time we faced the Red X, he was you in disguise, and you were not really there. Robin growled before yelling. Starfire quit it. She reared back before smiling. He is not a hologram. Beast Boy came in to see that. He can still be a robot. Check him for batteries, sigh. Cyborg pulled on a latex glove and Robin looked scared before shuffling back. Hey, it wasn't me. I swear. After everyone accepted it was true, he sighed, turning around and leading them home. Red X was a mistake. And I will never make that one again. He walked in on his friends going over who it might be. Beast Boy showing a weird diagram about other identities, or robots, monkeys, clones or time travel. Raven flipped him over and gave the opinion it was anyone. Anyone smart enough to find the suit, and anyone dumb enough to take it for a joyride. Robin walked up. Doesn't matter. Red X is my responsibility. I created him, every system, every weapon. Only me and Cyborg know who he is under that mask, and it's just another mask. XXX somewhere hidden in a warehouse in Jump City XXX. A man wearing a black jacket and black clothes with a headband over his head and one eye, and gravity-defying silver hair suddenly looked around and felt a shiver. Did someone find out my secret? A girl with pinkish hair looked to the older man. What are you talking about? What secret? The man chuckled. Never mind. The girl shrugged and went off. XXX back to the Titans XXX. Cyborg and the team looked confused. Until Cyborg put the pieces together. Whoa, you talking about that guy from the hive? Robin turned and nodded. Yeah, he stole the suit. Pull up his data. Cyborg came up, wiring the data he had, even a picture. Star, Raven, and BB gasped. BB shaking out of it. Dude, he was that guy who broke in. He's the new Red X. Cyborg pulled up a video. If what you say is true, then we are lucky. This is what he could have done to us. The video showed Kitsune create the tornado rumored a year ago, and right as it started to generate lightning, the camera blown. Cyborg pulled the plug. Why not do that? He could easily destroy us, why only use the suit's abilities? It doesn't make much sense. Robin sighed. Doesn't matter. He's underestimating us, this could work in our favor. Cyborg let out a breath. Well, seeing as he is being so casual instead of his normal ninja self, it would be easier to find him. But what is he after now? Robin glared. I know what he's after. He pulled up an image of a molecule. Zenithium, the fuel that powers the suit. Starfire gasped. Raven disbelieving, Beast Boy leaving frustrated at how he couldn't understand their talk. Cyborg went wide-eyed. Zenithium. Are you crazy? Tell me you weren't stupid enough to go messing with that shit, it's unstable, and dangerous. With every word, Robin just looked down and closed his eyes and shrunk in their eyes more. After the rant he sighed. Like I said, it was a mistake. The scanner he stole can locate Zenithium sources within a 10-mile radius. Pulling up an image of the stolen object, and letting the others digest it. Starfire looked at him. Then we have to find it first. Cyborg pulled his chest piece out and put it to the computer. He isn't the only one with a scanner. I'm downloading the molecular structure and downloading to your communicators. Thanks, but I won't need it. Robin was walking out of the room as he said that. Kuberg looked back. How in the world are you going to find the Zenithium without a scanner? Robin stopped past the door. The same way I found it the first time. And the door closed. XXX with Naruto XXX. Naruto grinned seeing the scanner go red on the building in front of him. Here it is. So, go in, steal some, get out, and my test will be complete. Then comes the new suit. Although, it's no fun without a challenge. The kid is surely after me, so I think I'll wait, cloaked and hidden, and when he and his team appear. Have a little fun. Kyuubi groaned in the mindscape. We have a problem. Seems that blue girl with the dark powers is a dimensional being of human from another totally separate reality. Naruto looked confused. As wonderful as that sounds to the threat she poses, how the hell did you find out? Kyuubi chuckled. Remember when you fought them in the warehouse? She called out a spell, an incantation from her home world, Azareth. Her dark energy is from her race, their abilities to cast magical spells are famous there, and are on par with your human jutsu. But the reason hers feels so much more familiar, is because of a prophecy handed down on her home world. She is the daughter of an ancient being, much a demon as myself, Trigon. His energy in her is strong, but she seems to be suppressing it. Naruto hummed. You are telling me she has more power in that hot little body of hers. Why doesn't she use it then? She might even be able to kick my ass if she's that good. Anyway, seems the kid found out where I came to steal the ore. Talk later, Fuzzy. He seen as Robin came in, and waited until the others showed, and they did. Beast Boy first. And after a quick exchange how Beast didn't know how dangerous zenithium is, and how Robin couldn't destroy it, Starfire and Raven popped up. But turns out, something happened to Cyborg. Robin growled. If Cyborg was attacked by X, then it's all my fault. Naruto sighed. Really kid, blame yourself for making the suit, but not for how people use it. Starfire came to console him. What happened to Cyborg was not your fault, you are no longer the one wearing the suit. Ah, Kami for entrance. Naruto came out of steel mode and grinned. And to be honest, I think it looks way better on me. He saw them look up at him and he threw multiple X shuriken, making them dodge this time. He jumped down, and seeing Beat Boy change and Raven climb to do her spells, he threw a constrained X and caught Beast Boy, who barreled back and caught Raven. This, in turn, had then about to go off the building, but Starfire caught them and saved them from that fate. Naruto saw Robin blindly charging now, no finesse in Naruto's side. So angry and serious about me this time, he is going for raw rage instead of skill. This won't be even a bit of fun. He activated an X on his backhand, and blocked the punch to his face, and as Robin reared back to take another jab, he did the same. This time however he caught Robin's mask and pulled it back, but seeing it attached still, he let it go and slam against Robin's eyes like the elastic as was, and give him a nasty hurt. Naruto knew that Robin would start thinking, but he wanted to get more power in the suit if he was going to test everything, and jumped off the building, going inside the one with the ore to power to suit. He activated his helmet's sensitive hearing, and heard Beast Boy swear in a strained voice. Dude, do you think you gave this guy enough gadgets? Naruto chuckled at that. I say not enough, this shit is fun. He went into the building and found his way to the vault area. He chuckled, deciding to wait and cloaked himself. Soon enough, Robin came in and when a scream was heard, Robin went to see down the hallway. After stopping, Naruto uncloaked, walking up. Hey kid, don't you wanna play? After all, these are your created toys. He threw some X shuriken, not aiming for Robin, but the controls behind him to open the vault, and when it opened, he went in, jumping wall to wall fast with Robin in pursuit through hundreds of laser trip wires. After jumping through the exit of the lasers, they were falling through a big hole, and seeing a barrier, Naruto threw an X at it, and the X created a hole, and he passed through, but the thing closed up and Robin was stuck on the other wide. Naruto chuckled, walking to the next trap, and seeing darkened tiled on the floor, knew something was up. So, he looked up, and saw a laser ready to fire on anything in the tile area. He cloaked, and waited for Robin to join in. It took a while, but seeing Robin come in, he uncloaked and pushed him from behind. After you. Naruto wasn't trying to kill the kid, but wanted to see how the kid fared with obstacles. After all, He was the one to build this suit, and had some good training it seemed. But how good? He watched as Robin dodged the laser's blast across the tiles, seeing him try to catch the door before he could. That wouldn't do, so he had to step it up, and teleported himself to the other end and in the room. Thanks for the hand kid, and hope you stay for a good long time. The door closed and he sighed, wondering if Robin would make it out of that. He hoped so, but he was here for a reason. He grabbed the zenithium ore pack from the hidden compartment. I love it when the good guy wins. XXX right after the door closed, with Robin XXX. Robin saw the laser coming at him and groaned, jumping out of the way on another part of the floor. He knew it would just chase him, but he wouldn't let X get the zenithium. Think, Robin, what can you do here? Obviously he locked the door and vault, and this laser might kill you if you stay too long. What can I do? Wait, what would you do? Robin looked at the laser behind him, and seen the wall ahead of him. He grinned and grabbed his grappling hook and shot it into the ceiling, jumping on the wall. This had the effect of the laser stopping for a moment because he wasn't stepping on tiles. He jumped off the wall as the grappling hook's leverage was further inward, and jumped onto the laser itself. Alright, now to make it manually fire by hand. He pulled wires, put a few together, and grinned. Better watch out, Kitsune, I am coming for you. He ripped the laser from the ceiling, and carried it to the door. He pressed the button on the laser and it fired into the wall, and he just made a circle through the wall around the vault door till it was all the way round. He stopped the laser as it finished. The wall and door fell and Naruto was welcome to the sight of Robin holding the laser and the door open. He chuckled. Well, I was hoping you were still alive, but kudos, didn't imagine you would do that. Robin grinned. Thanks, but you and me have some unsettled business. Robin got into stance and Naruto did too. Naruto smiled. You take life way too seriously, kid. Robin charged first, throwing a flying spinning kick to the gut, but Naruto dodged it. He grabbed Robin's cape, and thought of throwing, if it weren't for Robin grabbing hold of his arm and spinning under and tripping Naruto. Naruto let his body fall a little before slamming a hand against the floor and spinning his legs around for a hammer double kick to the gut. Robin let go, as did Naruto, and they separated, but Robin, thanks to his training, ignored the pain and threw bang bombs at Naruto. Naruto zipped out of the way as they exploded and he landed near the wall. He grabbed a lot of X shuriken and threw them at a cornered Robin quickly. Robin spun out his metal staff and blocked the thrown X's. Naruto hummed, activating his back-handed X blades. The kid is pretty good. If I ever want a challenge in hand-to-hand, I better think of a way to lure him out. Still, I better get going, the police will be here, and no telling what happened to the other kids. Naruto charged first this time, trying to disable the kid's arms with slashes of his X blades, but the kid knew his weapon well, blocking with the staff once, and spun it in front of him to block the next before hooking it under his arm and trying to slam the thing against X's head. Naruto ducked, but the kid spun and kicked him back. Naruto got up, making his X blades start to spin like saw blades and charged again, slashing for the arms again, but failing as the kid ducked under, sidestepped and flipped back before slamming his staff to block his strikes. Robin pushed his staff horizontally to Naruto as Naruto slammed his spinning blades hard down against it. Robin's leverage froze the ground and his training kept him still, and they were stalled. The X blades stopped their spinning and blocked the staff. Robin growled. What will you do with this zenithium ore? Are you thinking of using the gadgets to harm innocent people? Naruto grunted as the kid was pretty darn strong for being pretty darn scrawny. Not everyone likes to play the big villain, kid. I'm a thief. I'm not threatening your precious city. Naruto slammed his hands down harshly, making the kid lose balance before he grabbed the kid and staff and threw them at the door. Robin growled and landed on his feet. Naruto smiled, deactivating his backhand X blades. I'm just looking out for number one, me. Robin got his staff ready, scowling. So you're not psychotic, you're just selfish. Naruto chuckled. Lighten up, Chuckles. I'm not such a bad guy. Once you get to know me. He threw X's at Robin, one to the head, and one to the feet. The one to the head got blocked, as expected, but the high-to-low block of the staff was unable to catch the fast second to the foot and it tripped Robin. Naruto jumped and tried to plant a falling axe kick to Robin's arm, but Robin rolled out of the way and slammed a double heel in his back. Naruto hit the wall and fell to the floor. He looked and seen the ore package he dropped. Naruto ran and grabbed it, seeing Robin activate a Berdarang. Back off, or I trip the power core. He pressed the X on the belt. The core will trigger the rocks. I don't think you want that on your conscience. Robin raised the Berdarang again. And I don't think you want to be disintegrated. Naruto cursed in his mind. Either the kid knows how to do, seen people who do, or been trained to notice, a bluff. Damn, and here I thought getting out would be easy with this suit. He heard something behind him and looked to see men in white uniforms of some kind, and before he could blink, one raised a weapon and hit him with a beam of red, and that was all he knew, before his world went dark. A little while later, he grumbled awake, opening his eyes and getting up. Okay, who are the moon men? Suddenly bars rose around him as he found himself trapped. He looked to a voice in the room walking to him. It was Robin. Robin stepped from the shadows and glared. Criminals. Just like you. Naruto held the bars, grinning under his mask. Come on, kid, you really don't think this little playpen can hold me? The second Robin left, he'd use Hirishin to exit and get going. Robin glared harder and pressed a button on the console in front of them. The bars suddenly generated electricity and shocked Naruto back. You don't even care, do you? A low-life maniac just got his hands on enough zenithium ore to disintegrate the entire city, and it's your fault. Naruto frowned, seeing how he didn't figure it was his fault. He didn't lead no one here. The only way they could have known people broke in and steal it themselves was if Robin did something stupid. But, better since he did help the break-in, he would acknowledge some fault. Don't you mean our fault? Robin growled in anger. At least I'm going to do something about it, and if you cared about anyone but yourself, you'd be helping. Naruto seen that the kid was really wanting to see him not as a villain, but just a common thief, see some good in someone on the wrong side of the law, unlike what has been shown so far. Naruto sighed a bit under his breath. Sorry kid, some people don't like to play the hero. Robin calmed down a bit, but glared, pointing a finger. I'll be back to take you to jail. And with that, walked off. Naruto looked at the console holding him, but wasn't looking at all after that glance. He was in his mind. I don't understand him sometimes. He knows I'm a thief, and yet giving me a chance to show I'm no psycho. I don't want to play hero anymore. I always get hurt emotionally. Everything about being a hero has caused my life disarray. He sighed. Though, letting a villain turn this city, and in turn my friends I made in the hive, into nothing but destroyed atoms is something I would never let happen. So either lose my friend over being selfish, or play hero and still be a thief in the end. He looked at the door leading out and smiled, hearing something in his head he heard only once before in his life. From his mother. Always follow your own path, just like I have. You don't have to do things others tell you to, you can live your own life. But I know, deep down inside you that even if you don't want to be good to others for what they do to you, you will always want to help those you care about, just like I do. His mother was right, and he threw a Hiraishin kunai at the door, and flashed himself to it, grinning as he took it back. Alright kid, I guess I should play the hero, just to save my precious people. And with that, he used his enhanced speed to get out of the facility, and looked from the roof. Okay, if I was a madman, bent on using a device using this shit for a weapon to disintegrate the entire city. Where would I be? He looked around and saw nothing in town, and grinned as he looked up on the range over the city, and it had an observatory with something sticking out. Bingo. He went up to the range and thought going in the front door would be too time consuming to get to the kids, Sue. He went up the wall and just as he was about to enter the opening, the laser shot holes into the sides, almost killing him. Whoa, the kid is here already, I just know it. He went in to see the kid had got himself caught by nearly falling. He was about to lose his grip on the railing he was lucky to get a hold of. He looked to see a lot of henchmen fell to the kid's skills and chuckled. Well kid, I guess you did your best alone. He opened up an X shuriken as he heard Chong speak. So, little boy, who should I destroy first? You, or your pretty little friend? Chong aimed the thing point blank to Starfire, whose head was not frozen, but her body and her friends were. He cursed. That's just unethical. Seriously, this dude needs to get his head on straight. He threw one X shuriken, aimed and cutting the button to fire so it wouldn't be able to, and just in case, blasted the thing with a few more so it was sure not to. Oh, if he only knew that killing tech like this wasn't the answer. He saw Robin lose his grip and start to fall. Naruto jumped hard and fast from the ledge he was on and caught the kid in midair before hitting the railing on the other side, throwing him to the floor ahead to safety. Robin rolled and looked back, grinning. I thought you didn't like to play the hero. Naruto chuckled, getting up the rail. Doesn't mean I don't know how. He and Robin saw a few henchmen walking up and they looked at each other. As they nodded, Naruto activated his Sharingan, that way to somehow copy the moves and sync with Robin. They jumped up, giving a flying pair of kicks to the henchmen as a dove flew by. Robin got on his hands and split-kicked two henchmen hard. Naruto saw this and flipped a leg up behind him, kicking another henchman hard as he slammed a punch down on another's head. They stood back to back and noticed they were surrounded. How many do you think you can handle? Naruto looked to Robin to hear the answer to his question. Robin smirked, looking around. Might be more difficult if one more shows up. Naruto chuckled. Then that's the one I'll have to take care of. Robin looked back in mock surprise and amusement. What? You're fighting too? Naruto grinned. See, loosening up and having fun is the key. Let's round them out. Robin went to take a few on as Naruto grabbed one henchman and threw him at another, knocking both out. One was trying to scorch him with that beam device again, and he grabbed it, shooting the end against the henchman's stomach before lifting him up with it and slamming him against three more men, knocking them all out before breaking the beam shocker. Sorry, these toys are too dangerous to my health. He seen Robin slam heel into gut and found he might need a boost, so he went over, grabbing Robin's arm and throwing him up to see Chong. Robin and Chong met face to face before Robin kicked his butt down and tied him up, saving his friends. Naruto saw the zenithium and went in front of the weapon. Time for what I came here for. Time's up. He was stopped as all the titans blocked his path. He smiled, seeing as he had a spare in his pocket. Robin smiled, holding a disc weapon to throw. Thanks for the help X, but don't think that means you can help yourself. Naruto held a hand up. No need kid, this should keep me going for quite a while. He pulled it from his pocket and grinned. Robin grinned back and put the disc away, but held up the X belt. That one, to you much good, without this. Naruto looked surprised, and down to see the belt was indeed gone. He put his hands up and backed up to the ledge, stopping before falling. Yep. Definitely Chunin level. Great hand-to-hand skills, knows his weapons and gadgets and the versatility they have, and stealth. Whoever Batman is, he taught the kid well. Wonder if I'll ever meet the Dark Knight. Nah. Too much trouble. He chuckled. Not bad kid, not bad at all. He raised the zenithium, slamming it to the ground and giving the Titans an improvised flash bomb to see before jumping off the edge. As he was falling he was smiling. Wonder if everyone will forgive me. Hey, they all were fun. And with that, he used the Horaishin kunai he put at the edge of the city for quick escape anywhere, and ran to hide in the darkness. Robin put the belt of Red X on his shoulder, but seen a weird weapon and paper attached onto it. He picked it up. It's a kunai, but the design is all wrong. This X's. Cyborg looked at it and hummed. This is Kitsune's alright. He kept flinging it around his finger at lunch. Robin opened the note and read it. Hey kid, I realize you're stealthy, so it's possible you'll swipe the energy core to keep me from using the suit. Just wanted to say I'm not all that bad, I came to help. So to show you my appreciation for letting me go easy, here's a little gift. Your number one super thief, Kitsune X. What? Kitsune X. The hell is he talking about? As Cyborg and Raven helped the arrests, Starfire and Beast Boy were searching for Naruto, Robin was seeing the reconstruction of the Titan's tower that got blasted. He looked at the kunai. It's offset for longer ranges and faster throwing, as well as power to pierce enemies. But too big to hide, and what is this writing? He would find out someday, but not soon enough for his tastes. XXX with Naruto XXX. Naruto took off the Red X suit and put it away in a bag, and he grabbed his scroll, unsealing the Kitsune X suit, smiling as he put the thing on. The mask was white and shaped like a fox, with a big red X in the center. He put it on last and stood up, packing everything and heading out. Wonder where they could be. In a warehouse in an abandoned district of Jump City, a few people were gathered. Truth be told, they didn't get to Jump City legally. Hell, how in the world do you explain popping into existence? Legally, they didn't exist. Illegally, they were refugees. They were the shinobi from another class, hell, another dimension. A girl with long blonde hair in a ponytail and cobalt eyes was curled in a ball against a wall. Kakashi, I hate it here, I'm being hit on. Since Naruto A girl with short pink hair scoffed. The hell with that loser, he had to resort to bringing us here and escaping in the confusion to get away, just shows how weak he is. Another girl with blonde hair, but in 4 small ponytails grabbed her by the collar. Say it again bitch, I swear I will kill you. Whether you're Tsunade's pupil or not, don't think that strength will save you Sakura. A silver-haired man, who was Kakashi, sighed. Tamari, Sakura, Ino, stop it, we can't just do this every time you disagree and get moody over Naruto. Orders stand. A man with long black hair and blank eyes sighed as he set down a card and pulled another in his hand, making 5 cards. It's true. We are to bring Naruto back to Konoha for trial by the council, but to bring him back for his opening ceremony of being known as the son of the Yondaime by the Hokage. Sakura scoffed. Well, I'm going to be happy to see him hang. Seriously, he doesn't have the balls to stand up against the council. Ino growled, and stood up. The hell bitch. He set fire to the village. He even crushed a good portion of the council's power thanks to his lineage. Besides, Hokage's orders stand above anyone else's. She wants him back safe and sound. Then better hope you don't kill him. If you can, considering he's stronger than imaginable. Sakura looked a little pale remembering the damage. The damage from the Kyuubi attack paled in comparison, mostly because only a bit of the outside was damaged before the Yondaime took it down, but Naruto set the record for quickest kick to a village's scrotum and uterus. Kakashi nodded. So calm down, settle into routine, and do not try to create trouble. Seriously, no matter how powerful we are, I doubt we want to face a guy able to rip our heads off with just his mind. Or even a girl who, if rumors are true, rival Tsunade in strength. A guy in green spandex saluted and looked at Kakashi. I will not fail you, sensei. But, I am worried about Sasuke. He is acting so impatient, he is almost ready to just go out and kill in order to find Naruto. Neji put his 5 on the table. I say we shouldn't have brought him. He's a liability, he's even tried to cut me a few times just because I had an opinion. Straight, what you got Kakashi-sensei? Kakashi sighed and made his last move, putting 1 card down and drawing. Council thought it best he come in case Naruto was too powerful for any one of us. Whilst it's true, all of us together without him is enough. Straight flush. Neji growled and sat back as Kakashi took the $50 from the stack. Neji sighed as he relaxed. Though, he was going all out suddenly because of annoyance. He was whooping us like I never seen before without even Kyuubi or Sage mode, and we couldn't even touch him. He was annoyed we didn't back down and just went into both at the same time, and this happens. I wonder what fate has in store. Kakashi put the money in his wallet and stretched. He's off the grid, ever since we got here he has yet to show up at all. He is usually the type to run around and be the center of attention. A girl with long bluish-black hair and pale eyes came in, dressed as a schoolgirl. I'm back. And Kakashi-sensei that Naruto was the Naruto that everyone knew, but Naruto's heart was always fragile, and then these three bitches took that fragile heart and broke it. Tamari turned away, wishing it wasn't true when knowing it was. Ino curled up harder in the ball she was in, wishing to make amends, but Sakura growled. Like I give a shit, he was always a loser and idiot, why the hell would I be with him other than tear him down? No way he's a match for Sasuke though. Alright, enough, Tamari, Hinata, Ino, no fighting. Geez, I swear to high heaven you girls are so emotional about this it's tearing us apart before we can find Naruto who will do the tearing apart sooner or later. The three girls who were about to punch Sakura's lights out stopped and listened to Kakashi before all separating away from Sakura. Kakashi stretched. Listen, with you four, me, Neji, and Lee, we are more than enough to take him down. Though I doubt his skills have diminished. I've been at a local bookstore. You know his relaxation time is spent reading. Lee is a dojo instructor, because maybe somehow Naruto might find it a place to practice. Neji has been the one looking around. He gets the 4 p.m. to midnight shift, and Hinata with her own looking abilities, midnight to 8 a.m. shift. That's as much ground as we can cover currently. You, Tamari, and Sasuke are resting up for the impending fight. Ino is trying to use her technique to try and get information around town so we are all doing our duty. Sakura grumbled. Still, I think we should just let Sasuke search, he would get results faster. Kakashi sighed big time before looked to the sleeping Sasuke. Truth was, if he let Sasuke out, he'd kill a lot of people looking for Naruto, and bring down everyone. And that would bring the Titans, and the Justice League after. He did not want that. Let's do it this way for now, if things don't look up, we'll let him look, on conditions. Sakura left at that, feeling satisfied. Neji groaned and rubbed his temples. They are both unstable. Honestly, a year goes by and this. Tsunade might have needed more thought into this. Still, I have gathered a decent deal. Neji looked at the masked Junin, and looked confused. Kakashi put an eye smile on. There's been some trouble. The bookstore I am at. One of the Titans goes there. Raven, the psychic. Seems she and her team have some sort of rival. Heard they had to play rough with a guy who has amazing stealth skills to have suddenly blipped off their radar when things got tough. That's the rumor spreading, and when I asked what she thought of it, she said she remembered the energy of the guy wearing the suit appearing a year ago, in an orange spiral mask and a black cloak with red clouds. All she could tell me. Lee was too busy training against the punching bag in the training room, so the only one who heard Kakashi was Neji, and he looked shocked. Madara. Kakashi looked at the ceiling. Madara died by Naruto's hands. You remember. A year ago this costume appears. A little strange, don't you think? If he's becoming a villain, then I wonder how it happened. After all the suffering he endured because of villainy, he becomes one. Neji looked down and sighed. Actually, he mentioned something to me. He said, since I was a boy, I was thieved from. Shops stole my money by making me pay at least 3, if not 5 times the amount for food, and the food I got was rotten to the core. It's a miracle I never died. They stole my sheets. They stole my clothes. They stole my doors and windows. They stole from me until I couldn't do a thing but fight back. Sometimes I wonder if it was all worth it, to protect this place. But I know this, if I have to, I will steal back what was stolen from me, and only what interests me. He isn't a villain, at least that's my belief. He is trying to be a thief. Just a simple thief, to steal back what was taken from his soul. Filling the void in his heart with objects he can feel connect to him. Kakashi smiled a little at that. At least he isn't a maniac. Only looking out for number one. He used to say that to me a lot. If he is the rival of the Titans, should we help? After all, it would be easier. Neji sighed again and stood up. My shift is starting. Listen, Titans or not, if one thing goes wrong, we have the League on our ass. Besides, do we seem like teens to you? Me, Lee and Naruto are 20, and the others are all 19. They are close to leaving the teen group. Let's just go with our normal plan. Remember your words. To trap a ninja, be a ninja. This is the best option to draw him out. And with that, Neji left for his night shift. Kakashi nodded, smiling. Now if only the others would listen to that. Oh well, what should I get with my extra $50? Thinking of all the porn here was mesmerizing. It was paradise. XXX 3 days later, abandoned tech zone, aka, Gizmo's Kingdom XXX. Oh man, what the hell we gonna do? We try to break Jinx out, we're going to have to deal with those shit brains. She tries it, she'll be cooked. Man, if we had one more person to help. Hell I would even have Kitsune. You rang. They looked as Naruto, all dressed in Kitsune's suit, sitting on the highest part of tech rubble. Sorry guys, had to go throw a party downtown. Listen, no hard feelings right? Gizmo flew up and practically tackled him, giving him a noogie but stopping seeing as Naruto wasn't affected, thanks to the helmet. Course not. You didn't even hurt us, just tried to get through the language barrier. Mammoth put a hand up. Trust me, a lot of things are needed before I even dislike someone at all. Hell, I don't even hate the Titans. We just fight because we have to. Honestly, all the shit in his life, he learned to deal with the shit. Naruto chuckled. Alright. So, where's number 3? Jinx. Gizmo gave a little blank look before shaking Naruto with all his might. That's right. We need your help. Jinx is missing. Naruto stopped the techie from giving him whiplash. Slow down. Details, man. Gizmo growled but calmed down, giving Naruto a piece of paper. Listen, a few days ago we had to go get a little money from some punks who owed us for the protection we gave a week back, a little after your disappearing act in the base. Jinx went to collect, haven't seen her since. We heard though she was put in jail, and when we checked, she was in the roster. Listen, we need you to go collect the fee, figure out which station, and go get her out. Naruto's mask shone little to his own emotion, but his action was simple to understand. He stood, getting Gizmo off him, and jumping down to the ground. Warm me up some supper, this will take but a moment. Gizmo blinked before shivering as the cold voice used in the metallic sound coming from the mask was just creepy. Oh man, I think I feel sorry for what those punks are gonna be in for when Kitsune comes in the door. Mammoth could only agree with a nod. XXX apartment complex, jump city limits XXX. Two men were laughing and having a beer as they watched the football game on the TV. Ha, this is great. We get a new TV, didn't have to pay a cent. But their game was interrupted as a knock came at the door. One man came to the door, growling as he opened it. Listen bud, we're busy, so I subbed Gua. A blow to the face was all his welcome as he fell to the floor unconscious. The other guy came up and looked a little shocked. He looked up to see Naruto still in his Kitsune X suit, cracking his knuckles. Listen, bud, I suggest you answer my question, otherwise your friend will have company in La La Land. He grabbed the guy and pulled him outside, and put him over the edge of the railing of the 10-story building, being on the 7th. The man was struggling against the arm. How dare you? You know who you're fucking with. We'll get you back for this. Naruto chuckled. Two low lives who could barely steal a TV and a set of cables before the Titans arrived to kick those protectors of yours asses. What you gonna do? Call the police again? I could break out without anyone noticing for days, within the hour. The Titans. They barely had enough power altogether to bruise me when I held back at LexCorp. You better start answering. Pay up the fee. Tell me the station you had Jinx sent off to, and I will think of letting you live. The man was stubborn and Naruto let go of him, making him fall. The man screamed as the ground got closer, and Naruto suddenly caught him by the foot on the second floor. Wanna go again? Talk. The man was scared shitless. He looked up. Okay. The fee was 200 right. It's in my wallet, I swear. The girl. Fine, whatever, she's in Central Holding. We tipped off a guy we knew, some ex-military guy, we knew he knew her so she would leave without us paying. Naruto swiped the cash and was about to let the guy go back, but he seen a car suddenly drive up. Out came Cyborg. Great. Just what I needed. Tell you what, I will let you off the hook. See ya. He knocked the guy out and put him on the floor before dropping to ground level, the Titans all showing up. Robin crouching in he lead. Don't know who you think you are, but this is where it ends. We came to get these guys but seems you wanted to stop them from speaking of why you helped them. Didn't imagine the hive to be so reckless. Naruto chuckled. Hive, you have no idea. Sorry Chuckles, but seems like you've got the wrong idea. He stepped from the shadows, showing the costume he had now. Beast Boy looked dumbly before snapping out of it. Okay, I understand the fox look, but didn't we already take care of X? Everyone seemed a little surprised, but stayed on guard. Robin glared harder. So, this is what you meant. Kitsune X. Doesn't matter, we put you in your place before, we'll do it again. Naruto put his hands up. Like I said, you are just way too serious. These guys owed me a little information is all, but listen, I'm kinda busy, so I don't have time to deal with you guys. Don't suppose you'll let me walk. Titans, go. Didn't think so. Cyborg grabbed Robin and threw him headfirst to Naruto. Naruto had to admit, they picked up their teamwork. Robin generated his retractable metal staff and slammed it hard down. Naruto raised his arm up and blocked it casually. Robin noticed a thick pole-like thing on the arm parrying his own. You upgraded your defense. Naruto chuckled. A little padding can come a long way, but these have a different purpose. Naruto grabbed Robin's arm and kicked him back down to ground floor, but found the railing he was on come to life. He shimmered from existence. He came back on ground level, where Cyborg was on top of him in an instant and slammed a fist down. Naruto dodged it by a foot and tapped an electric X on his back, making him short circuit. He seen Starfire coming at him, and as she tried to tackle him he just ducked, but she landed and threw a spinning back kick, making him catch her foot and using her own strength flinging her into a chanting raven. Beast Boy had turned into a pterodactyl and using his massive wings to spin in the air threw Robin down unknowingly at Naruto. Naruto heard the sudden change in midair as BB turned into an eagle, and when he looked up he saw Robin closing in and growled. "I've got no time to play around with you kids." He reached up and grabbed Robin by the collar of his shirt and threw him hard to the ground. BB changed into a T-Rex and tried crushing him, but he suddenly vanished before he hit the ground. BB looked around before finding himself lifted and then thrown to the ground hard by Naruto using surprising strength. Naruto huffed as he slapped a Change X and made BB turn back before kicking the green hero back. Naruto was about to finish off all of them, when he heard something on the police channels. "This is Central Holding. We're under attack. I repeat, we're under attack. A pink-haired girl is smashing steel with her fists. We need help." Ah. He thought a moment. Jinx was a good acrobat, but she wasn't strong enough to bend metal with a punch, and she is well known, so if the guy didn't call out her name it meant another pink-haired fighter. He cursed and gripped his hands into fists hard. He saw the Titans getting up and in a flash, smashed Robin into the wall with a fist, hurling Cyborg into BB and next to Robin, twisting Starfire and hitting Raven into the wall too before throwing the alien beside them and vanishing into thin air. Beast Boy groaned as he shook his head. "Alright, is it me, or is X pissed off?" Robin groaned in agreement. XXX Central Holding, 10 minutes earlier. XXX. Jinx was pouting as she was in a specially devised cell to stop her powers from freeing her. In front of her was an older man with a small goatee and spiky black hair. "Seriously, this sucks. Don't I get a phone call?" The older man huffed and continued to flick his fingers clean with his Bowie knife. "You don't get your phone call yet. We need to keep your powers to where you don't try anything. Seriously, when you gonna stop dealing around like a little rat in crime? I thought I raised you better." Jinx rolled her eyes. "Come on, you're kidding me with this, right? Even if I wanted to, I'd be stopped alone, and not to mention I am a thief, not a villain. I'm no criminal dealing back alley deals, I was collecting a fee they owed. Also, you didn't raise me, you just tried to keep me out of trouble when I wasn't fond of staying in a foster home or kitty pound." The man grunted as he picked the last of his right hand clean. "I'll believe that. You never lied to me about your activities before, but still you tried to use force. I might as well have did, seeing as I'm the only normal person, and cop to boot, that you even slightly like, even respect." Jinx snickered as she held her sides. "Too true, old man Marley. Geez though, I thought I heard you transferring to New York a while back. What made you change your mind?" Marley sighed and looked over his hand. "I don't need a big city, I like it just fine here." Jinx smiled fondly. "Still, whether you are here or not, you are family to me." Marley smiled back, holding his knife up in a giving manner. "Same to you, Squirt. So what is this I hear of you and the Titan kids getting in with each other so much? You guys fight more than any other baddie they fight." Jinx stretched as she was still for a while. "Well, you see, the Hive have graduation exams, and ours was to complete this mission for a guy named Slade. Failed, and we were sent back to school, thus we are just trying to regain some of our pride as fighters as well as thieves." Marley listened before a huge force suddenly rocked the station. The hell? He got up, loading his MP5 and went up a little. He seen a girl with pink hair and angry look walking through the cell blocks. He let Jinx out and she went to look and paled. "You've got to be kidding me." She looked the girl up and down. "Seriously, she can pass as my fucking twin. Who the hell is this girl?" Marley turned to her and looked blankly. "I was thinking she was with you, but apparently not. Alright, listen, get your ass out of here." The girl was confronted with a few cops coming from the other halls and she slammed a fist into the walls and made them fall on the others. "Seriously, roaches, I ask a simple question, and everyone attacks me. Truth was, she asked, got an answer, she didn't like it, and reacted violently." Jinx looked shocked. "I know you smoke, but the hell you smoking, old man? You can't face that." Marley growled, shoving her back. "Back door. Now, just because she's strong, she can't hit me. She's got a quick punch, but as history has shown, age doesn't affect my skill one bit. I'm pretty quick myself. Still, she gets one hit in, my brains are going to be thinking for the floor." Jinx growled, but Marley glared her direction, but she saw a sad fondness. She huffed. "Better come back, windbag, or I won't forgive you." And with that she ran out the back. Marley fished his pocket and sighed. "Big boss, help me through this." He put on the black band around his head and held his gun tight, a knife being held against the grip. "Freeze, girl." She turned to him and looked angry and he scoffed. "She on her period or what? That's a pissy ass chick." Out back, Jinx slammed the doors open and just as she turned to look down the street she ran face first in a surprise hug. "Jinx. Well, it's good to see you too. Get out by yourself, did you?" Jinx heard that metallic voiceover, but it was definitely Naruto's husky voice. She smiled, hugging him back before reality kicked in. She shoved back and shook out of it. No time. Listen, a crazy psycho chick that looks like my fucking twin just burst in and started tearing up the joint, and now she's about to kill the only one I ever rightly respected to call a father figure. Naruto, go and help Marley, please. Naruto looked nervously confused, but he put a hand on her head, knowing this guy must be real important to be this frantic about it. Fine. Now, how about you get your ass back to HQ? I'll meet you there when I'm done. Naruto went into the shadows and disappeared and blinked. Damn, I still wanna know how he does that. Please come back. Both of you. And with that she ran off. Back inside, Marley dodged the fierce first strike of Sakura. Damn, you're quick, but your technique is shoddy. He grabbed her arm and threw her into the wall. He backed off as she kicked hard to get him off. He sighed as he threw his rifle to the side and got into position with his knife. Style or not, you got spunk, and even if I like it, I already got a girl. Sakura roared, slamming a fist into the ground, and Jack saw the ripples, cursing and jumping up to the wall before flipping back to his feet. Marley rushed in, slashing down and seeing Sakura grab his hand to stop it and raise a fist. He cursed and ducked under the punch before slamming an uppercut into her chin and turning, using his arm and her limp arm to force his inward elbow to crash into her ribs. She grunted and hit the wall. He stood back and looked hardened. I can tell you have the training, but why are you using such force in its place? Answer me, why are you attacking? Sakura growled lowly. Scum. You attacked me, so I am going to teach you not to mess with the student of a Sanin. Jack barely dodged the next strike, but she spun and kicked him. Thankfully only her punches were super strength. He hit the wall, was about to get up when he heard a voice ring out. Nice job. You could be a decent sparring partner if I ever want it. Hand to hand is the basis of all combat after all. The voice stopped, but the person behind it appeared from the shadows of the wall. I'll handle this. Get going. I promised Jinx I'd save you. Marley grunted and got up. I can deal with little Miss Cranky. Besides, who the hell are you? Naruto chuckled. I'm no hero. But let's just say I don't like those who destroy. Listen, you're Marley, right? Get your ass moving back. This little bitch is mine. Besides, you have no idea the power she can pack. This is just the bastardized version because her anger is controlling her. If she was in control, she could shatter the building with only one of her punches, not cripple it like she has done. Sakura growled and looked at the newcomer and seen the fox mask. Huh, Kitsune. Anbu. Listen, if you know what's good for you, you better get your ass out of the way. I'm trying to gather information. Naruto glared and flew through some hand seals. Sakura was surprised before growling and trying to slam a fist in his face. Sadly, it didn't work as she was suddenly pushed back and he completed his seals. Sorry. Sakura. Wind of winter. A cold wind picked up, but instead of snow, it was cherry blossoms, Sakura's, and Sakura was surprised before the wind pushed her back hard in the wall. She got up and growled. You think your puny jutsu will hurt me? Think again. She threw a harsh punch, but Naruto twisted and elbowed her in the back, but caught her waist and threw her into and through the wall of the building. He walked up to her struggling form. Those fists are dangerous. See, normally you'd have won already, but your anger corrupts your skill, and your power, also your speed has decreased. If I was normal you'd have won. Sakura growled louder. You have no idea how strong I am. Naruto had to mentally chuckle. Oh, he knew all right, but like she would have the privilege of knowing that. He seen her push as much chakra in her system as she could, and this was where he cursed. Kuso, you really going to destroy the foundations of the city with that punch? I need to get your ass to somewhere you can't do that much damage. Sakura, are you having trouble? As usual of such a weak woman. Naruto turned to see a man with a dark blue tank top and purple wrap around his waist and a sword attached by the purple belt. Naruto cursed again, seeing Sasuke here suddenly. Sakura looked a little nervous. No, Sasuke-kun, he's just a little tougher than the rest. I was about to crush him with one blow like I usually do to filth. She turned with anger, but grinned. But since you're here, how about crushing him with me? Sasuke drew his sword. We are here for information. Kitsune, right, tell us, where is a blonde named Naruto hiding in this city? You must know if you are Anbu. Naruto chuckled lightly. Sorry, but my info is my own. As soon as he said that, Sasuke came flying in fast and slashed for the neck. Naruto ducked and hit a palm in the Uchiha's stomach. Come on, kiddies. He vanishes and reappears outside behind them. X marks the spot, pointing to the red X on his mask. He ran off, making sure to keep visible for them to see and so he could see them, and seeing them both charge behind him he grinned. Good, now to go where no one is so I can kick the asses of the bitch and the bastard. XXX 5 minutes later, back at the station XXX. Marley was smoking a cigarette as he and his team cleaned up the mess. Damn, she's got some power punching. Who knew we'd have another Titan? We don't. He turned to see Robin and the others there. What happened? Marley sighed. Some pink-haired girl with super strength just came in and wrecked the joint. Seemed to be PM Singh. She was pissy about everything. Jinx? Robin asked. Marley answered. No, I know Jinx. I let her go as every other inmate left with fear of being crushed. She wanted to stay and fight, but I made her leave for safety reasons. Robin held his chin in thought. Then where did X go? Marley looked a little surprised. If you mean the guy in a black cloak and a fox mask with a red X on it. Yeah, he was here. Was he yours? Robin looked a little surprised. No, he isn't. We were chasing him when we got the call. Did he do any of this? And were those two on his side? Marley scoffed. He helped minimize the damage. Hell, saved my life from the pink-haired chick. Then this duck-haired guy came up and they fought it out and left. Didn't like each other from the looks of it. They headed east towards the limits. Robin nodded and turned to his team. Okay, Raven, you and me head east. Everyone else stay and help these guys. Let's move. He and Raven zipped out of there and Marley grumbled. Today has been nothing but headaches. XXX back with Naruto XXX. Kaden. Goukakyu no Jutsu. Fire release. Great fireball jutsu. Naruto cursed and spun around. He did a few hand seals and water shot from his mask's lips, and as it violently crashed into the ball of fire, the two jutsus diminished. They stopped on a rooftop of a warehouse and the odds were not pretty. Naruto in his Kitsune X suit, and Sasuke with Sakura and all their gear. Sasuke frowned. I didn't hear the jutsu's name. What is it called? Naruto put a finger up. Tisk tisk, are you really ninja? What ninja calls out their attack to their opponent? Besides, now there are no possible casualties. Just you two. He seen Sakura flare, but Sasuke stay calm. Sasuke huffed. If you were really Anbu, you'd have called backup. I have yet to see any superhuman with our powers, and even then if there was the coincidences of Naruto's, and you all being here unknown are way too unlikely. You're Naruto, aren't you? Naruto chuckled. I'm just a little lowly thief, not even mentioning. He put his fingers together to signify small. Just a bit of a thief, just an insignificant thief. Sasuke grinned. I'm an elite Uchiha and you're keeping up decently. You must be some kind of special forces soldier. Naruto shrugged. Well, I also thieve. And with that he was slashed with the sword, being the sheath in this case as it went through his body, and behind him Sakura had slammed a fist in his spine. He coughed up blood. Sasuke smiled. You aren't Naruto. Naruto chuckled and heaved. Really? The way I look at it, you made 3 mistakes. He held up 3 fingers. He rasped a short breath and put down 1 finger. 1. You followed me blindly like lambs to the slaughter. He put a 2nd finger down. 2. You came light. 2 of you against me. Fucking insulting. He put his hand down. And your 3rd mistake, you're supposed to be dead by now. With our blows you should be unable to speak. Am I not? And Naruto looked down to check himself. Sasuke thought why he was still moving and breathing. And gasped as he tried to back away. Not good, as Naruto grabbed their arms tight against his body. Sasuke cursed. Shit, that's right, I'm just a motherfucking decoy. Boom. Naruto blew up into a fiery explosion. Sasuke grunted. Getting up from the side of the building he crashed into, his clothing singed black. He gasped and looked horrified. It's Naruto. He turned in time to see the silver of a blade and everything went black. Sakura got up and seen as out of the shadows came the fox mask and seen him pull back, and just as Sasuke turned, swung a silver object against Sasuke. She didn't see any blood, but she seen the silver object was a sword. She rushed in as she seen Sasuke bounce and fly backwards towards her before stopping halfway. She checked his head quickly and seen it was only slightly concussed, but hit hard enough to knock him out. She seen Naruto come up. Naruto held the blade next to her. He's lucky I only used the back of the sword. Listen up. Leave now. Never come back. He put the sword back on his back and walked away, chuckling. No one beats me in the kitchen. My shadows are my territory. And with that, he jumped across some buildings before stopping, seeing Robin and Raven. Hey Chuckles, bring your girlfriend. Robin glared. She's not my girlfriend. Now, how about coming in quietly X? Naruto put a hand on his chin before chuckling and backing to the ledge of the building. Sorry, got business to take care of, see you next time. Lady, gentlemen, you will forever remember this day as the day you almost caught Kitsune X. And he jumped off the building. Robin and Raven went to look down and saw that Naruto had once more vanished into thin air. Raven hummed. That has got to be the best disappearing act I've ever seen. Robin groaned. So it would seem. Jinx was wandering around like crazy in the base. It was only a few hours ago when her father figure started fighting a girl with strength to match Starfire, and then Naruto going in to kick her ass, but she was still worried with what Naruto told her. Get back to HQ, I'll be there when I'm done, and it was already 2 in the morning. The cold voice, even given the metallic enhancement of the mask, was something to worry about. He has never been so cold before, and that was what worried her. Gizmo thought it good to try and relax her. Calm down. Knowing Naruto he saved the cop, beat the shit out of the girl and is losing the Titans and getting back here. Jinx stomped on the ground huffing loudly. I know he is okay, and Marley is fine, but the girl just screams familiar to him. He was cold and it was like the Grim Reaper was about to take souls. That pink-haired girl with the strength of Starfire is just someone I am worried Naruto knows to a great degree. Gizmo blinked and remembered Naruto talking one time, carelessly giving a secret. To think, Sakura would do that to me so many times. I wonder why I ever loved that pink-haired slut. Using that super strength to try and kill me for trying to make her happy. Gizmo sighed and begged that Naruto wouldn't kill him. Super strength, pink hair. Sounds like Naruto's ex. Mammoth and Jinx whipped to him and looked shocked. Gizmo sighed heavily. I overheard him talking when he wasn't fully thinking. He said something about a pink-haired slut named Sakura. Apparently, she cheated on him with 2 other boys, multiple times, and was beaten to an inch of his life daily from her. Jinx blinked before thinking, and realizing no wonder he never made a pass towards her. You mean to tell me this violent slut that looks like my fucking twin is his ex? God, no wonder the passes I made were unseen. Gizmo nodded and Mammoth frowned. Poor Naruto. Man, when he comes back, I'm giving him a good home-cooked meal. Gizmo smiled sadly and nodded. He turned to Jinx. Listen, it may be true he was wary of you because of that, and hesitant to trust his heart after not only her, but 2 other girls cheating on him with other boys. I am wearing him down to try with someone, and you are the closest he has as a girl and friend. Trying to play matchmaker. Naruto appeared from the shadows behind Gizmo and gave the little midget a noogie. Who gave you permission to give that info to others so freely? Gizmo was in his arms wiggling wildly to get free. He gave the peace sign to the other 2. Yo, Marley saved, 2 bitch asses kicked, Titans don't have a clue. He fished his pocket and gave them the money. And fee collected. Mission a full success. Jinx jumped him and pinned him down, pouting. Gizmo pushed Mammoth out of the room. As Jinx bent down face to face with the fox mask of Naruto. Thank you. I'm sorry I got you into so much trouble. Naruto smiled and got up, Jinx straddling his legs. It's no problem at all. I do what I can for my friends. Jinx frowned sadly and Naruto put a hand on her head. What's up? Don't like being my friend, Jinx. She sighed and shook her head. Never said that, just. I found out today why every time I wanted you to look at me you never did. I now know that I was being like that slut, attacking you every chance I got. But, I had my reasons, I swear. Naruto sighed, smiling sadly under the mask. You never tried to kill me though, even if the powers you have got the potential to kill me, you are no psycho, you are just a thief. Gizmo may have been wrong to eavesdrop, but he was right about one thing, he was wearing me down. Listen, what reason could you have to attack me like that? And I will think about taking you out somewhere. Jinx looked a little nervous to say. Her history was less than pleasant after all. But if it meant good things to come, she would at least give a little about herself. Jinx sighed. When I found out about my powers, and got a hold of them, I was still young, and destruction was my plaything, but soon I realized it hurt others, even those I cared about, so I tried to keep myself under control. Naruto was getting a good hint suddenly why she attacked, but he didn't know for sure. She continued. I kept myself under control by keeping my powers from even starting up, and found a build-up only caused it to keep frying everything. So, I would let out a little bit and try not to overload, but also keep control. I got better at it over time. She smiled sadly. And I found a guy the first loved, but because of my powers. He got stuck under a telephone pole and glass cutting out his eye. I figured love was never meant to be. But then, 2 years later I found a man who I thought was immune to my powers. Even if I let it out around him, he had good fortune and wouldn't be affected, or so I thought. He was ran over by a car and paralyzed. Naruto understood why she attacked now, but let her speak, and she finished. You came into our lives, and nothing, no matter what I did, would affect you. I thought maybe, just maybe you would be it, but that last try I knew it wouldn't be so easy. So I kept up, waiting for the failure to come, but it never did, and I was always scared if I did give in, your fortune would run out. So I never tried, just attacked. Naruto pulled her into a hug. Well, stop attacking and try. As I will. For now, let's keep things on the down low, and go from there. As for the effects, I use some of my secret techniques to keep myself from collateral damage stuff, and a little friend inside my stomach keeps my inner damage at a minimal. Jinx looked confused. What do you mean? What little friend? Naruto chuckled and got up, walking to the kitchen. I'll tell you one day. By the way, purple so suits you, nice choice downstairs. And vanished. Jinx scowled and crossed her legs, huffing. Pervert. She smiled through a small blush. But he's too sweet to be a bad one. I will figure out a way to tease you back, you little fox. She got up and went in to have the home cooking Mammoth was making. XXX Titan's Tower, morning after XXX. Beast Boy rolled on the couch from the back of it and slumped. First Dr. Light tried to vaporize us, then Mad Mod hooks us into his weird tastes, Control Freak tries to foil the electronic world, and then we have to deal with the new X, who seemed pissed off. Does anyone else think today was hell? Robin stretched as he went to the computer on the wall of the room. I had to deal with this a lot before getting to jump actually, today was easy compared. Remembering the harsh times back in Gotham, but he did get caught in the past from time to time, wondering what everyone was doing without him. Starfire hummed in confusion. True, friend Beast Boy, the Red X was most irritated, but if you have warred against the Glarbert critique on Planet Bitopkig, today was just, as you say, a warm-up. She remembered the days of warring that planet and shivered. They were most horrible. Raven was quiet, as usual, but answered out of courtesy. Unlike them, I never had a workout. I agree, it was taxing at least. Truth be told, it was. Her body wasn't very muscular, and her stamina in a physical battle was poor. Cyborg sighed. I'm indifferent. I'm well suited for it, but even I have my limitations. Anyway, what we gonna do now? Track X. Look for the hive. I've been wanting a little payback. Robin clicked some things on and sighed. It's not like I don't want to. He is using some intense ninjutsu techniques. The only one I know who can match is. Well anyway, point is, it's no picnic. Reports say the trio hive villains went into hiding and disappeared. Cyborg jumped into his seat on the couch. Meaning downtime. Sweet. Come on BB, time for me to whoop your ass in Cyborg Shinobi Chronicles, think your night practices will be any good. BB grinned and grabbed a controller and started playing. Robin sighed and turned the machine off. I'm going out. Starfire flew near him. May I accompany you friend Robin? Robin turned to her, smiling. Sorry Star, but I need to have a little time to myself. If I wish to get stronger I need to figure out how. I'm going to a new gym in town, I'll bring back some tacos. He left and Starfire looked worried. Raven flew over to her friend. Starfire. Starfire turned and smiled. Yes friend Raven. Raven put a hand on her shoulder. He's just worried about how to deal with X. He was much stronger and faster suddenly. Robin doesn't want us to get hurt, but he doesn't want to stop us from helping. We are a team after all. Starfire frowned. I know, but I wish he would let me in and help. Little known to her about his past, but that didn't stop her feelings. XXX 1 hour later. Hertz Drive XXX. Naruto was walking through town and yawning. Damn, Mammoth sure put it on heavy. That dinner had me in bed sleeping from just the weight of my belly. Oh well, it sure was good. His inner furball made itself known. Least it wasn't that atrocious noodle dish. I swear to Cammy, if you ate that shit straight without any other sustenance I would have created a way to make it inedible to you so you would get something else. In fact, I may just do that. Naruto looked flatly. Do, and I will create your worst nightmare once more. Listen, I promised to eat more than ramen, and I have kept my end of the bargain. What about yours? It was a good trade too. Not eat ramen 3 meals a day 7 days a week like he used to, and Kyuubi would be a partner. Kyuubi growled. Hold that tongue Gaki. I've been keeping it, but it's not like I know everything. Not your stupid answer bank. Anyway, I had a little trip into our memories. Seems when we disappeared in the hole, they didn't disappear from sight normally. They evaporated, as if being pulled into one as well. If I am right, not only are the slut and duck ass head here, but everyone we fought in the border. Meaning the other sluts, the blinding homo, the emo of fate, his cousin and the copycat. Well the green is here, that's for sure. He stopped to see a dojo, and in it was a guy with a bowl haircut and leg warmers training a group of people in fighting. He was about to turn tail and keep a lower profile, but seen Robin walking past. He grabbed the kid's shoulder. Hold it, you aren't going to see that dojo are you? Robin looked back to see a blonde-haired guy with a red shirt and black face mask. What if I am? Is it wrong for someone to go to a dojo to train in your mind? Naruto chuckled. Geez, lighten up. Listen, I ain't saying you can't train, I'm saying it's not going to be a good thing going in there to train. Ever been near that guy? Piece of advice, he isn't your type. Robin gave a confused but stern look. And how do you know my type exactly? Let me guess, Batman. He was so going to make a name for himself as an individual away from the Dark Knight's shadow. Naruto shrugged. Not saying I know perfectly, I mean we all are individuals after all. Never met the Bat, never heard more than rumors and legends. Wouldn't know how he affected you personally either, just saying, from the stories going on about you in this city, you are pretty good as a fighter, and use some stealth to take out your opponents. Robin turned fully to meet the masked stranger fully. And he isn't like that. Naruto smiled behind his mask. He's brash, loud, and has too much energy. He wears everyone out so much it's a wonder he is even still in business. I don't know how well he is doing, I just know he could be bringing his students down. Robin looked at the man teaching and Naruto continued. Not saying I know what type you are for sure, but I do know his. And it's not something I wish on anyone. Robin hummed before looking at Naruto. How do you know this guy anyway? Naruto mentally cursed, having just told how he knows someone like it's casual. Naruto took a deep breath. Let's just say he and I used to be friends. But after what he did to my other friend, it's a wonder why I even think that guy is even able to be considered my friend anymore. Look kid, if you need any training, tell me what kind and I would be happy to give you some pointers. Robin thought about it a moment. Seeing this might be a trick, he looked sternly. And where do you teach? Naruto chuckled. I don't. But I think it's better to have one student than 1,000. Able to go at the student's pace, as well as able to think on how that student develops without worrying about others. Sounds fun actually. Robin nodded and sighed. How about ninjutsu? Naruto knew 2 types. His world's powers, and this world's stealth skills. His world's ninjutsu was not known here, so, he would give the stealth skills. They are pretty good, some better than others. Black is the normal color of shadows to blend in the usual way, but why settle for the usual styles? New colors can bring out blending if used right. Robin nodded. Okay. So, where to? So I can see what you got. In truth, if he found a teacher able to help him, he might be able to follow X in some way, and how close he was to X he would never know. Naruto grinned. Practical training needs real-world results. See this. Naruto pulled out a yellow cloth. Starting an hour from now, I will have found a place to hide this. When that hour is up, you are to use any skills you see fit to find it. The faster you find it, the faster I will accept you to start your own hiding. Robin thought about it before nodding. Then I try to find you. Naruto nodded. Naruto went off and Robin looked at the clock. And turned seeing the dojo. He decided, hey, why wait an hour on the street? It would be an hour lesson and be over with. Not his type, he quits. If it is, he accepts both teachers. XXX 1 hour later XXX. Robin saw the clock tick too and zoomed onto the roof of the building and looked around. Okay. Man, he was right. That guy almost killed me with what he expected. Still, it was good training. Time to find that cloth. This will be like trying to find a random criminal who murdered 5 people and was hiding out for a week before looking for him. Man, he wasn't hard to find, but this might be. He had to think how to find a cloth from a stranger he didn't know within the city limits. And someone who knew him slightly. Things would be slightly interesting. He stood and looked to the lighthouse next to the sea. Nope. Too easy. A cloth there has been left many times. Robin hummed as he looked to the tower. With my friends there. No way. He put his hand on his chin. Wait. Think like Bruce and the Riddler. He closed his eyes and thought of a way to track. He grabbed his binoculars and flipped to infrared. He saw the hot day was getting to the city, but some cold spots. And saw a dot of some sort in one and zipped between the buildings to get to it. He landed in an alley and checked around. What did he say? Colors can blend. He found no yellow or trace of a yellow tent, and went off to a higher spot, finding small heat spots in cold areas and for 10 minutes looking through 3 before thinking hard. Okay. I'm thinking like a detective. Not like a ninja. To hide something, you must constantly be on the move, to constantly keep your opponent off your trail at all costs, and if the information needs away from your hands, find a hiding spot so ridiculous no one would ever check. Yellow. Taxis. He zoomed to the top of a high building and switched his goggles to color tracking. He found a lot of yellow cars, but only a few that had any design similarities driving around. And one that was parked and not moving at all for 5 minutes. Robin grappled to the car and saw it was indeed a taxi. And checked for cloth, finding it hiding behind the license plate. Got you. Where's that guy though? Well done. 20 minutes. I expected an hour. Robin turned to see him waving. So, find anything about yourself. Robin looked confused and Naruto walked up to him. When someone tries to find themselves, they have a look about them. I seen it many times. The guy in the dojo wanted to be acknowledged for his skills with fighting. A friend who was usually with him wanted to find a way to break the cycle of his family tree's curse. Another friend who I thought a brother wanted to restore his family's honor even if it meant killing his brother. What are you looking for? Robin looked down and then smiled. To help others in any and every way possible, so maybe they won't have to suffer like some people I know did. To be strong enough to take down any lunatic who think they are above others, to defeat them, without killing anyone, and save others. Naruto smiled and chuckled. Good answer. Tomorrow, same time, you hide in the city, and I shall look for you. I give you my word I will stay wherever you want me to till the hour is up. And no cheating and using your tower. Robin put a hand up. By the dojo, and I give you mine, I will not hide where you cannot go. Naruto took his hand and they shook before Naruto started walking off. By the way, try not to think too much of the bat. It is not who others think you are, but who you think you are. I heard the bat and you were great together. I may not know why you split, but I do know this. Father figures. They may not be perfect, but it is better to have someone you feel as family, than to throw away that family for any reason that does not concern your heart. Robin was about to say something, when Naruto vanished in a poof of smoke. Robin looked around and zoomed back up a building to look, and found nobody. And smiled. Interesting. He closed his eyes and sighed. But you were right. A call home once in a while wouldn't hurt. XXX back in Gizmo's tech heaven. XXX. Jinx was grunting as she was hauling a big bag of things from her room. Damn it. Mammoth had to leave for issues with his sister. Gizmo went to check things out. Naruto is gone, so how in the world can I make this stuff go? As if on cue to her words, the entire bag disappeared in a big puff of smoke. She blinked a few times before seeing Naruto holding a scroll. By your command, little Miss Unlucky. She huffed and crossed her arms. And you could have done that at any time. Since when did you return? Naruto chuckled nervously. Just now actually. So, what's with the stuff? Leaving us. Jinx rubbed her temples. No, we got a new place. Follow me. She turned and led Naruto out the door and through some alleys. Naruto hummed as he wondered why it was taking so long. Where is it? And why do you have a new place? Jinx grinned. It's a surprise. And we got it thanks to blood. See, we were smart enough to graduate before leaving the hive behind. They gave us a hideout near the limits. Naruto nodded and chuckled. Sorry about the rough leave I gave you guys though. Jinx stopped and turned, smiling. It's fine. I guess you would want to leave with a lot of people on your case. Me, Cheshire, blood. Just try not to destroy this base. And with that she knocked him on the head before walking, swaying her hips lightly in front of him. Naruto blinked and followed, looking at her swaying hips every now and again, having to look up as she looked back or else get caught. They got to a small dirt dune and Jinx swiped off some to see the door. She opened it and went down the stairs before going into the dark tunnel, with Naruto in tow. The lights came on and it was very nice. The door closed and they heard a shifting, and a screen popped up. Hey barf bags. Get your asses down here and help us out. Damn it. Oh, and welcome to the hideout. Move forward to the next door to enter the main room. Jinx sighed and rubbed her eyes. He's pissed about something. Let's go. They went forward a few dozen steps to the titanium door, which seemed to be locked. Gizmo game back on the comms. It takes the registered members of this team, so Jinx, just say your name and it'll open. Naruto will need to be registered by yours truly. Jinx said her name and a beam of light shone over her body before blinking away. Welcome to the Hive underground hideout, Jinx. An autonomic voice of a girl came up to say it and Jinx shrugged before going through the door, which closed quickly. Naruto stood still and Gizmo came online. Computer. New registration to this team. Confirm data upload. Confirmed. State nickname and personal password. Naruto looked to the monitor Gizmo was looking through and seen the TV shut off. He smiled. Kitsune X. Password, Kyuubi Jinchuriki. A station dropped around him, 2 bars of some sort, and started spinning around him with lights encasing him. He stood unwavering as it took his information. The spinning station stopped and rose up again before the door opened. Welcome to the Hive underground hideout, Kitsune X. Naruto came in to see a sight, and beside Jinx who had slapped her forehead. And for good reason. Cheshire was currently trying to take a chunk out of Private Hive, and Kid Wykid was eating the last of their cookies with Gizmo flying around trying to fix the wiring of the place. Naruto chuckled. Home sweet home. Cheshire stopped choking Private Hive for a moment and looked to Naruto. Whose sweat dropped and stepped behind Jinx for protection, Jinx looking shocked. You kidding me? Find a wall between you two, not me. Welcome to the Hive underground hideout, Mammoth. Everyone stopped cold as Mammoth looked pissed. So tell me, whose bright idea was it to bring more people onto this team? Private Hive saluted. Sir, Blood wished a better team dynamic and sent me and Cheshire with Kid to help you in your endeavors. And thought you would need help setting up the lair, sir. Sorry for no warning upon arrival, sir, but we were ordered to hurry. And we were washed up by blood and dropouts at this time, so. Mammoth grunted and went to the kitchen. Find a room and make sure you don't piss Gizmo or Jinx off. And Cheshire, no ninja attempts against Naruto. For your safety. Jinx groaned as Cheshire tried to jump off Private Hive to tackle Naruto, only for Gizmo to bump into her and Private Hive fighting Kid for the cookies. Naruto chuckled. Well, they sure are lively. Let them have their fun for now, I'll put them to work soon. Jinx nodded and went to her room. Come here, pack boy, you need to help me unpack. Naruto followed the slightly swaying hips again. Yes, ma'am. Naruto's log, day 1 of the new HA base. HA standing for Hive Underground Hideout. Until further notice it shall be called HA. It was interesting to say the least. I helped Jinx unpack, having her tease me over her suggestive underwear. Not bad, needs more variety, the silk lace with purple stripes on pink ones was the best looking pair. I returned to the main area to find Private Knucklehead trying to command Kid into giving him the last of the can of jelly beans. What children? Now, if it were ramen, I'd have won hands down to get it. Gizmo was working all day and night fixing the wiring, and Mammoth was helping place the heavy walls and reinforce our defensive structures. Cheshire has been eyeballing me all day, and I've been using a shadow clone to toy with her in order for her to stay away. As for me, well, let's just say I'm enjoying a relaxing evening in my room as 100 clones go make sure that the perimeter is secure. Period. Not even my father could enter this place when I'm finished, even if he had the ability to create billions of clones, or had billions of his special kunai. Hell, Hidan would be unable to penetrate this place, he would be Ash, and still cursing me out, but still Ash and most likely unable to do a thing till we wash him out of the vents. All in all, a good day. Now, what should I put to Naruto? Get your ass in here to eat breakfast, you blonde dickhead. Ah, good old Gizmo, such colorful language as always, I love it. Coming. Naruto got up and walked in the main room to see everyone settling down in front of the TV, where Mammoth was trying to beat Gizmo in a video game. He saw a stack of Donald M. brand fast food. He went over and checked the orders. Burger. Oh, sausage biscuit. I'll have that. Ah, there you are. He grabbed a box of sausage gravy and biscuits and went to the couch, seeing Jinx and Cheshire talking about their hair. Well, least they're busy. He turned to Gizmo as he took a bit out of his sausage biscuit. Getting your ass kicked, I see. What happened? You suddenly lost your ability to use your thumbs. Gizmo huffed, straining to beat Mammoth in the game. Ha ha ha. Go fuck yourself with a barbed wire baseball bat. He is better at these types of games anyway. Doesn't mean I ain't hating that fact though, the hell, Mammoth. How did you get me from half the map away? Naruto chuckled, looking to see the game. It was a new game called Space Rings. 0 hour, futuristic sci-fi warfare game. It was actually pretty good, but he preferred the good old apocalyptic undead shooter Zombie Virus 5, much more fun to him. Private Hive came in and got his breakfast before standing behind everyone. Gizmo, sir, wouldn't it be better to grab the energy pistol? Overcharging it takes away the shielding instantly, and it tracks. Gizmo growled. The hell with that shit, it sucks against health. Now the crystal pistol does better tracking, and rapid fire enables it to kill in seconds, but at longer ranges, its cousin the crystal rifle can pack a bigger punch than that SSR, single-shot rifle from the human side. Mammoth chuckled. It's not the advantage of a weapon, it's how you use it. How else do you take I stopped you from sniping me with the focus sniper by using the auto rifle? Gizmo's head grew tenfold over Mammoth. Like I would know, dickhead. I'm not a military stratagist. Before shrinking back to normal and fuming as he tried harder to beat Mammoth, whose score was 45 and Gizmo's was 10, and it went to 50. Naruto finished his biscuit and sighed. Well, seems the power works. What kind of things can we power with it without it failing? Just as that question was asked though, Gizmo was killed for the 50th time, making him growl and cross his arms in frustrating. Mammoth just chuckled before nudging Gizmo. Gizmo took a deep breath and thought on it. Well, we got enough power to not only power the usual applications for this team, that includes my overuse of gadgets by the way, but that only takes about a fifth of the total power. So, anything you want. Jinx doesn't get anything electric, Hive is good with the usual military gear fetish, Cheshire is more old-time style with a bit of electric workings, I can do anything you want. Naruto nodded, grinning ear to ear. Well good, could you make a big as hell hologram room? Something to help us train our skills. With your tech smarts, and my imagination, this team can have some pretty fun and challenging stuff. Gizmo took a thinking pose, then grinned. Oh, this is gonna be fun. Anything else, Naruto? Naruto thought a bit, but Jinx got in the conversation, smiling. Yeah, maybe a sauna room. Complete with tanning booths and big pools. Naruto chuckled, nodding. Training room, relaxation room. So yeah, for now, the simple things are best. I gotta get going though, so keep things safe. I'll return when I feel like it. Hold on, everyone said at once. Naruto stood still, confused. Jinx stood, blushing. Well, we thought about it. And we need a leader for this team. Someone who knows what it is to be a thief, someone that can beat us all in a fight, someone who we know we can trust. We thought of you. Naruto looked a little stunned at first, then it grew into surprise. He was being requested to lead this team of thieves. Really? He never lead anything. What was leading going to do that his life normally didn't? But, being a good friend, and still being that kind guy which he hated, he sighed, smiling. I accept. See you guys soon. Don't wreck the place. And with that, he left for his deeds. XXX with the Konoha idiots XXX. Kakashi sighed heavily as Ino was hovering over an injured Sakura and Sasuke. She groaned. They're fine, at least they're outside wounds. If I were to tell you based on sight alone, I'd say they were perfectly fine and just need to rest a few hours. Kakashi got the hint, humming as he got closer. And on a true blue medical diagnostic. Ino looked sternly. Seems to me on a medical diagnostic, Sakura has her chakra sealed internally. The hell that happened I do not know. I mean she carried Sasuke here, and Sasuke has a slightly malfunctioning lung. Kakashi groaned deeply, rubbing his visible eye. Alright, so how did all this happen? Ino sighed, letting her jutsu go. I can't say for sure. Truth be told, it was either Naruto, or a supremely good ninja of this world. Sakura's chakra is sealed up, cancelled, or something. I mean it's disrupted all to hell. What does that? Sasuke is a different story. It was as if invisible needles had punctured the internal cells of the lung, making it harder to breathe. Kakashi had to bring up a thought. Alright, let me get this straight. Someone either knows our chakra foundations enough to have Sakura's go haywire, and also somehow do the internal damage to Sasuke that only our medical ninjutsu will cure. Either someone, some people, or Naruto did this. Ino slumped. She didn't want to say this to anyone, but she knew the way Naruto thought in battle, she knew the way he saw things, and she knew his true strength. She only thought her next words, not speaking. Naruto must have. He is the only one who has this kind of knowledge of our chakra systems. The coils are all critically tangled, and Sasuke's punctured cells are highly accurate, went straight for the membrane, killing them. Naruto did this to Sasuke for him to suffer, and he sealed off Sakura's chakra for the time being, knowing she would try to save Sasuke the second she got him here, but he knows me not. He either forgot I was a medical ninja as well, or he wanted to prove how he isn't like Sasuke, showing me how wrong I was. Hinata went to Neji as she got ready for school. Sleep well, and remember to have good dreams. See you soon. She hugged him before going to leave. Kakashi, make sure not to read perverted books in the open, it might be bad for your health. And right as she hit the door, she turned and smiled, a very sigh-like smile. If I see these two out against Naruto without supervision again, I will castrate the guys, and give the girls permanent time of the month. So either keep them from disobeying orders, or hell on earth shall be your punishment. And with that she left in a cheery attitude and humming to school. Kakashi shivered and turned pale, as Ino was currently sweating. They both said the same thing. Let's not heal them. And with that, went about their day, ignoring the two fallen comrades. Rock Lee turned to Neji, looking stoic, but that was just a poker face, via playing poker with Kakashi every day. Inside, he voices his concerns. Did she mean every male? I didn't do anything to deserve such wrath. Neji shuddered. Well, that's the thing, not a single one of us stopped Sasuke and Sakura from leaving. So technically, doing nothing got us here in the first place. Better hope she is in a better mood when she returns. Truly, ever since she found out what the three girls did to Naruto, she grew a backbone of solid titanium, and a heart grew into a diamond of ice, along with the mind so sharp he swore, if it were a knife, it would split the world in half. Neji turned and went to bed. Wake me up an hour before she returns. And keep me updated on those two. Don't want them dying, but better to leave them injured currently. With that his door shut, and Lee went to take his mind off things with training. XXX with the Titans XXX. Cyborg yawned as he entered the living room. Man, patrol is getting harder each night. He slumped on the couch as Beast Boy was practicing in the new game aerial fighting. Dogfight Evolved, and getting pretty good at it. Robin was getting his morning coffee, getting good rest because of today being the day he was to hide from the ninja. If it were any true this guy was good, maybe he would finally prove his worth as an individual hero, not just the student and sidekick of the Big Bat's shadow. Sorry, Cyborg, gotta be ready for anything. Especially when Kitsune X shows up again. Robin was relaxing at the bar, reading some of the morning newspaper when Starfire came in, bright and perky as always. She zoomed in and grinned wide. Oh friends, it is a most glorious morning, is it not? I think we can go out and have some fun. Cyborg's head, which was looking at the monitor where BB was playing, slowly and creaking as it went back, and his head was upside down looking at Starfire. I need my batteries recharged in about an hour, and it takes a while, and as he said this his head was turning counterclockwise back upright. And machine or not, I still need sleep. I still don't understand how Robin does it, let alone Raven, but I need some R&R. And with that, his head snapped upside down again and then back to watching BB. Starfire blinked before turning to Raven, who was beside her. That was most freaky, yes. Raven yawned. Well, he has a point, sleep is good. Robin probably has experience as a low sleep kind of guy, but we all have our needs. Robin checked the time. You guys can rest for a while. Seems like nothing is going to happen right away, so get some rest. As for me, I got somewhere to be. He went to the door. Starfire, how about we go out to the festival tonight? My treat. He shut the door as he heard her scream in joy. He smiled. Well, least she is happy. And with that, he went to meet Naruto. Starfire giggled as she thought of the fun games to play. I read all about them. Fish picking, coin throwing, target practice, it all sounds wonderful. By the way, what is the new attraction I heard about? The hammer. Beast Boy popped his head up as the loading screen came up. It's awesome, star. It's this big stick and has these two big compartments, only fits one each though. See, it spins you round and round at high speeds, but the compartments can spin you so your head isn't facing the ground, you just spin at high speeds. Pretty fun. Starfire imagined it. Oh, like a windmill. Sounds fabulous. Tell me, will there be the house of the horror? Raven nudged her side before going to get some tea. It's horror house, star, and yes, there will be. XXX in front of the dojo. XXX. Robin was waiting at the power pole 5 minutes early, thinking the ninja would be as well. So far, the ninja he was waiting for wasn't in sight, he even looked, and nothing. He was grumbling. Is this guy even a real ninja? Is he just going to show up casually like a normal person? Thought about that, but thought, hey, let's give the bird a scare. So booga booga, haha, what the hell? Robin fell on his ass 10 feet away as he seen Naruto behind the pole, casually just laying against it. Naruto chuckled. Damn, wish I had a camera. So, what's up traffic light? Robin blinked a few times before smiling and getting up. Well, at least you've got real skills. So, what's the game? Me hide for an hour. Naruto thought a moment, and turned to Robin. We are teaching you ninja techniques. So, how's this? You go and try to keep yourself away from my gaze. Anything goes, and if you manage to stay away from me for 10 minutes, you pass. Robin nodded and smiled. So, shall I begin? Naruto nodded and closed his eyes. Robin ziplined himself on a building and started crossing rooftops to get away. He looked back as he thought of the man. Thinks I will be easier to find than that flag. He has another thing coming. I did promise not to hide in the tower, but where? Seems I need a good hiding spot. If I keep on the move, I can stay away from him. So better to stay on the ground. He jumped down into an alley between two 10-story buildings, but being trained in falling situations he managed to flip off one wall onto the next, and jumping from it onto a fire escape ledge before dropping the rest of the way without harm. He was about to jump the wall to the next street, when as he did, Naruto's face popped up from the other side. Heya, yikes. And with the scare of the century, he fell back on his ass in the alley. Naruto flipped over and stood tall. Naruto chuckled. You lose. Sorry, but this is the end of the line. Robin was blinking at him, still in shock. What's wrong? Looks like you seen a ghost. Robin shook his head, standing straight. Hey, what the hell? How did you manage to find me and follow me like that? It's only been 10 minutes. Naruto chuckled. Oh, that, easy. I placed attacker on you. Robin fell on his face anime style before getting up and looking everywhere. He seen a small device on his cape and grabbed it. Naruto chuckled. You forget, we are training you in ninja techniques. And ninja, do not play fair. Robin growled. So why bother trying to train me? Seems you can just cheat, while I am more honorable. Naruto smiled behind his mask. True, but you forget something. You are trying to be an honorable hero, I can understand that, but so is Batman and Superman. Batman uses shadows and ninja techniques, but does he play fair? Robin thought about it. Using his training he could sneak up on anyone, using detective skills he learned from ninjas to track their prey he could find anyone, and using all the tools he builds, although many, he could get out of and outwit anyone using his mind. He uses what he uses, but always fair about good and evil. Naruto walked up. That's the problem. The people you try to catch as villains do not play fair. They lie, cheat, steal, and threaten innocent lives, but why can't you cheat the cheaters? Robin had an argument set up for that question a long time ago. Because if we cheat and stop them using unfair tactics, then we are no better than they are. Naruto sighed. Only if you threaten lives and lie about your intentions, stealing their ways. Take the Joker. He will use innocent people, and steal anything that he wants just to prove how he is funny. He will lie that he has nothing up his sleeve, and then try to kill you using something he pulled from them. Robin nodded, seeing his point come true. Naruto continued. Let's say you cheat against him. You use traps he doesn't see in order to catch him, make him mad by screwing with his brain. Don't fight him fists honorably, fight him by making him destroy himself. Be a damn ninja. Robin frowned. I don't see what you're saying. Making him mad he might kill other people, maybe he will prove himself by trying to destroy what we are trying to protect. Naruto chuckled, and put up his hands in a symbol. That's why you play unfairly, cheat. Use him against himself. Play his mind, play his heart, destroy his cool, and make him take himself down. Justice. Suddenly another Naruto appeared the right of the original. Justice is what created you. Another appeared directly to his right. Justice that binds you. Another at 7 o'clock. Drives you. A fifth directly behind him. Justice that defines you. Another Naruto at the left of him. Justice that decides. One more walked from the shadows at his 3 o'clock. Justice that becomes forever needed. And a last right next to the original. Justice that can change. The original walked up, smiling. Justice is a fabrication, a word used by the ones called good, against those who are called evil. The line that separates those two is blurred, however, and you don't understand. Those who are truly evil, like the Joker, can be easily known so, but what about people like Catwoman? She just steals what seems valuable to her, right? Nothing evil, just looking out for number one. Robin was shocked, seeing so many Naruto. Naruto kept going, not stopping. You see yourself as a hero just because you put them behind bars. What about the other people? You are not a cop, you aren't paid to do this, and by normal law, people cannot take it into their own hands. You're just a vigilante. Robin looked straight to the original. No, a vigilante is just a man, he can be caught, and stopped, he can be destroyed. But I and my team are symbols. Symbols of which are ideals to help society from evil. We cannot be destroyed. Naruto chuckled. Good answer, but you are missing the point. He flipped through some hand seals and instantly his body was covered in flames. Ninja are symbols and ideals too. We use tactics to do what we believe in to stop our enemy, whether it be killing them, or arresting them. Tricks, lies, cheating the enemy out of their precious values in order to keep the peace, to help the world with whatever we desire to do in order to bring about our own justice, whatever it may be. Naruto put his hands down, the flames dying. Then all the copies suddenly vanished into smoke. If you cheat and trick the villains in order to win, then you are not them, you are using your own brand of justice. You are stopping them using the methods of the shadows, so they may stop bringing injustice to the world. Robin looked to Naruto and smiled. You've convinced me. I will do better next time. Maybe I can be a ninja that will bring justice. He walked to Naruto, hand stretched. Thank you. Naruto took the hand, shaking it. My pleasure. Here, take this, as a result of your training. He pulled out a kunai, but not just a kunai, the tri-pronged Hiraishin kunai. Robin saw it and growled, backing away. No way, you're Kitsune X. Naruto chuckled inwardly. Duh, this long to figure me out. My acting must be way good. But, to keep you off my trail, better trick you. Naruto looked surprised and confused. Who the hell is Kitsune X? Sounds like a Japanese-based alias. Robin looked confused. Kitsune X has the same kunai, he gave me one after I stole his belt. Naruto took a thoughtful pose before suddenly chuckling, and then bursting out laughing. Oh god, you stole his belt. That's rich. Ha ha ha. Robin was confused as hell. Naruto sighed, regaining his breath. Sorry, I'm not your guy. See, I'm that guy's longtime buddy. Me and him go way back, but since he decided to be a thief, and I can't blame the guy, I thought I'd just roam and be away from his activities. Robin sighed. You know him, huh? Tell me, do you know everything about him? I need some information. I want to try and beat him and bring him in for all the trouble he has caused. Naruto thought about this for a few minutes. Okay, go and tell him everything about me, probably make him figure ways around my style and make him a more challenging rival. Or lead him off with false intel, making him seem like a dumbass when fighting me, good for a laugh, or say no and make the kid shadow me. Who knows, maybe it will be for the best. Naruto smiled, nodding. Sure, but be careful what you wish for. You might be in for a bit of a long haul. Robin nodded and gestured him to follow. Naruto did, all the way to the tower. XXX back at the tower XXX. Robin came in as Beast Boy and Cyborg were having a food fight, with tofu and meat. Starfire was currently trying to stop them with her unusual words, and Raven was in a corner meditating. He looked to Naruto. Sorry, usually they're still trying to figure out lunch without the fight, guess they started early. Naruto shrugged and Robin walked forward. Robin took a deep breath before shouting. We have a guest, so stop it, guys. And in a second, the food stopped midair, standing still. Naruto's sweat dropped. When he said stop, he didn't mean literally, but damn was that literal. The food suddenly came back to them without dropping and they put it away. As they did, Starfire came up. Oh hello guest. Tell me, why are you visiting our food of fighting today? Naruto's sweat dropped again. She's a tough warrior, but this is new, how come she is so confused with words? I'm not. I'm invited by Robin to explain something. Cyborg came up, smiling. Well, it's nice to have a guest once in a while. So, what's the deal, Robin? He and Naruto followed Robin as he went to the computer. Something up, man. Suddenly a picture of Kitsune X was shown on the screen, and a little list. He's an old friend of whoever is behind that mask. So, I thought I'd get him to give us some info. Beast Boy looked at Naruto and grinned. So, what's he like? Where you find him, Rob? Robin smiled. Yesterday and today he's been training me in ninja techniques. He's pretty good. Naruto grinned and put a hand to BB's ear, before pulling back. Hey, listen up, stop blocking your ears with a quarter. In his hand was a quarter, but he closed his other hand around it, then taking it off and a bird appeared. Sorry, guess it was your brain. BB pouted as the bird flown to his shoulder. Naruto looked behind him. Hey, think his brain can be any slower? Well, you can't be serious, that ain't a bird. The bird was grabbed by two hands from behind him, and he turned to see Naruto behind him. And then he opened his hands to show a turtle. You're so slow, Beast Boy, how else did you not see I'm not in front of you? Beast Boy looked behind him again and seen that Naruto wasn't in his original spot anymore. He grinned. Awesome. That was so cool, man. Hey, how did you get a bird and turtle? Naruto chuckled, closing his hands and opening them to show a quarter again. What turtle? He flipped the coin behind Beast Boy, and he followed it with his eyes and seen Naruto catch it, and looked back to see Naruto once again disappeared, and was holding the quarter back in his original position. Cyborg's jaw was wide open, and Starfire looked amazed. Wow, that was most amazing. How did you do that? I didn't see you move an inch. Naruto chuckled. Ninja rule number 3, never tell your secrets. Raven came up beside him. You have the same energy to Kitsune X. Naruto's sweat dropped and smiled. Really? Guess that's because me and him aren't from this world. Everyone looked at him, and he chuckled nervously. Starfire giggled. You are an alien from another world as I am, correct? Naruto shook his head. Nope, see, I'm a being from another dimension altogether. Me and my friend both are. And so are a few others. Raven took interest. So, what kind of dimension is this place? Naruto nodded. It's a dimension of ninjas, using chakra to frightening degrees. See, I learned since I got here a year ago, chakra here just means a small amount of energy, but me and my friend are the highest energy of chakra in our world. Kind of like running a water supply. Whilst here you only have a glass of water to bring out, me and my friend have a supply as big as an ocean, each. We were wanted for it, to be used as weapons, and ran from our home, but because of some energy overload, our dimension teleported us, and those following us, here. Raven nodded. Portals open for many reasons. Guess this was to place you in one that can hold your energies. I accept it. She went off to meditate again. Robin pulled up 2 more pictures. One of his hive alias, Kitsune, and the other being the one he used first getting here. Robin sighed. These are his other aliases. Naruto decided to help the whole Ms. information of who he was along. Wrong. One is, the other isn't. Robin looked confused. You're telling me you know his aliases. And what do you mean one isn't? How are you sure? Naruto grinned. Because, one of them is me. The orange mask. By the way, nice going on catching me. For a few seconds. Robin slumped, and Beast Boy chuckled nervously. Sorry dude, I was tired, so many patrols. Naruto chuckled a little. It's okay. All is forgiven. Anyway, Kitsune, his former Anbu mask. Nostalgic. What do you want to know? Robin got the information pad up. Everything. Abelites, history, personality. Naruto hummed. Well, his history is. He is an orphan. He was actually the village idiot. Truth be told, he wasn't, but everyone hated him. He was stolen from, beaten, almost killed, given rotten food and drinks, yet he still held his head high to protect those who needed help. Robin looked amazed. How bad was all this? Couldn't be all bad if he protected those who hurt him. Naruto looked darkened. Oh, it was bad. It was hell on earth. His body was cut and stabbed so many times, he was burned and pounded with bruises with broke bones for years, poisoned millions of times, and yet he continues to try to protect the very village he called home. I was his only friend, and for that, I was an outcast. Robin looked horrified, so did everyone else. Naruto sighed heavily. His heritage of being the very son of their greatest hero, denied, even if over time people started to stop hating, and start respecting him as a person, the girls who said loved him cheated on him, with his best friends, and just tore him down. He broke down, and so, he swore never to go for justice or heroism ever again. He won't, however, be an evil entity. So much done to him by evil people, he swears never to be so. Robin looked a little down. Wow, never thought he would be so hardened. Always thought he was just playing around. Naruto shook his head. He plays around a lot because of it. His childhood taken, he was forced to grow up to be a better person, so now that he can, I bet he is playing around to finally relax. His personality is separate, from hardened warrior, a lazy bum, a playful guy, to angry demon. It's how he is. Robin sighed. He still is a criminal, thief only or not. So, what are his abilities? Naruto smiled. Oh, you don't wanna know. Don't shit yourself. The multiple of me you've seen. He can do that too. They're solid too, able to harm you and everything. He has complete control over wind and lightning. And lesser control of fire. If he wanted, he could burn this city to the ground, or he could shock the entire world or create a worldwide hurricane. But that ain't all. Robin put it down, looking in shock. Naruto continued. He has 2 eyes, each a special power in its own. In one eye, he was the Rinnegan, or transmigration eye. Able to do many things. His favorite is the heavenly techniques, push and pull. Push does just that, pushes away anything coming at him. Pull, doing just that, pulling anything to him. Also able to pull souls from people, and revive people from death. Robin turned with wild eyes. You are kidding me, he has control over life and death. Naruto grinned. And more. His other eye is called the Sharingan, or copy wheel eye. It can copy and put into action anything it sees. But it has two stages, normal, which can do what I said, or the second, which has multiple abilities. Creating a black fire, able to burn anything and can never be put out. Put you in an illusion so powerful, it can trap you in your own mind for days or weeks, torturing you, but in the real world, only a second passes. And much more. Robin paled. This guy is seriously dangerous. Naruto chuckled in his mind. No idea. Bird brain, none. I got all that and triple more in my arsenal. Let's see you kick my ass now. Naruto finished with his last statement. His stamina is freakishly huge, as is mine. He can keep throwing this shit at you for weeks without tiring. Heck, that kunai. He uses it to teleport. It can make you teleport anywhere it is. Serious. Throw it somewhere, and whenever you want to, teleport to it, like a snap. Only me and him can do it though. Robin put it all in and sat there. Naruto turned. Be careful, and try not to piss him off. See you guys another day maybe. I may give you this info, but I will never help fight him, he beats my ass. And with that, he teleported away. Raven looked to Robin. He's good. Training under him is a good idea. So, what's on your agenda, Robin? Robin got up, walking away after saving the information. I'm heading to train my combat skills. See you guys tonight for the festival. XXX back at the hub base XXX. Naruto. The door opened and he came in to see Jinx and Kid fighting. He sighed. Seriously, this is getting nowhere fast. He grabbed them both by their collars. Stop it. Now tell me, why are you two even fighting? We are a team now. Kid just stared at him, and Jinx growled. He won't give me any clue to where Cheshire went today. I mean seriously, she says she has business with a cat, and here I am trying to figure out what she means. What cat? Gizmo came on the monitor, looking stale. She just sent me a message. Seems Gotham has been treating her nice. If being held captive by poison ivy is anything nice to think about. Naruto twitched. He sighed. Fine, now you know Jinx, so stop fighting. As for me, time to meet the Dark Knight, and get Cheshire back in one piece. See you in a few. He dropped them and vanished without any indication of him being there in the first place. Jinx looked to Gizmo. Did he leave his X-suit here? Gizmo scoffed. You know him better than that, he is always prepared. I saw him seal it in his scrolls. Now leave me alone, I'm building this room. Mammoth not there. CRAAAAAAAAHHHHHH. Jinx sweat dropped as the whole base shook. Guess we're going to need a broom and dustpan. Kid just nodded. Naruto was a whole different league of emotional. Impatient, energetic, confused, angry, frustrated, anxious, happy, and more. It was a montage of emotional backlash for what was to come. He was slightly irritated at himself for making this snap decision to just waltz his way from Jump to Gotham. I mean, who decided to walk from city to city, without knowing how far they are apart, when you have a kid who can teleport you there in a second? Really, who doesn't think about this? Kyuubi was laughing a storm. Oh, you are rich, thinking you can just walk in. Unless you undress and get in your civvies, and I doubt you would be totally left alone, you would still be found out. A new addition the day Kitsune X is found in Gotham, huh? Sounds like the bat would tear you a new one. Naruto grinned under his mask, looking over the darkened city. It was getting late. Well, he is known as the greatest detective. And I am thankful Gizmo gave me a really hard to take off mask, with shock therapy for anyone dumb enough to try it, and a fail-safe lock that cannot be broken and not released unless I say. So, stay Kitsune X. Hopefully I get what I can and get Cheshire before trouble finds me. He threw a kunai into the air, one of his special ones, and seen it arch into the city. He hoped that when it stopped, he would be able to claim it and be in a good spot. He trusted his luck with the throw. He felt it stop and grinned, seeing it landed in range, which was good, and teleported himself. He found himself in between a fight between a gang and some thugs. It looked nasty. One guy scoffed. What? Another bat sidekick? What you supposed to be, the rat wonder? Naruto sighed. You know, I understand my all black and my mask may be seemingly a rat of sorts, but now. My name is Kitsune X, and am not a damn Batman knockoff. Tell you what, give me some information and you can go about your day. Another guy was laughing, coming up with a bat. Well, I tell you what. I know Batman, he had me strung by my leg from the clock tower, you ain't getting squat from me. He roared and swung hard. Naruto twisted and caught the bat. Naruto narrowed his eyes. Wrong answer. He fired a hard kick and knocked the guy into the fence behind him. Who wants to talk? Did not get the right reaction, but then again, who would get it with that kind of action? All of them sped at him. He sighed, seeing their skill, speed and everything lacking. He caught one guy with a right hook to the gut, jumping back and slamming a kick into another, but twisted on his hand and made two more coming at him hit into two others, dividing the numbers easy. There were four more, one with a chain hooking on his arm. Naruto grinned as the two bats and a pipe came at him. Wrong move. He pulled hard and pulled to the side, having all the tools hit the chain. He pulled even harder, making the chain guy ram into the three, but then threw the chain guy into a fence. He sighed, going to the first guy he knocked out, who was waking. He picked him up. You say the bat uses intimidating means. Let's see you not talk when I use my own. He lifted the guy up, flying into the air and high into it, nearing over all Gotham at this point. The guy was panicking. Naruto grinned wide. Listen up. Seeing as Gotham is new to me, and I am new to town, that is, I do not know the ropes. So you will tell me all the latest info you got for me, and if I like your answers, I will let you live and even put you safely back on the ground. The guy nodded. All right, this is new, Batman could never get this high, and there's nothing for me to get a hold of. Naruto nodded. Good boy. Now, since I am new in Gotham, here is question 1. Who is Poison Ivy, and what is she so famous for that I need to keep in mind? The thug grunted, huffing, hyperventilating as the wind picked up around them. She's a real big player, formerly a greenhouse scientist, but somehow turned green and grew the ability to grow hybrid plants and shit. She just usually wants to rebuild Gotham into the fucking Amazon, a big ass jungle, no man made anything. Naruto hummed, wondering what Cheshire was doing with her then. He lifted the thug more. Second question, who is the cat here? The thug grunted more, feeling Naruto slip a little and looking horrified. All right, I'll tell. Just don't drop me. Naruto clung harder and he felt safer. The only cat I know from Gotham is Catwoman. She's a big-time thief. She isn't no psycho like our normal rogue villains, but she's still a criminal breaking the law. Naruto nodded, humming. All right. So, she just a thief. Dressed like a cat. The thug nodded. She dressed black and has a whip as a weapon, is very agile, very fast and acrobatic. Mostly into cat things and cat art and jewels, anything feline. Naruto nodded, raising them higher. Last questions. Better make it worth my while, or you are gonna drop. The thug was barely able to breathe as he was horrified, the wind picking up harder. Does Ivy and the cat work together? And no matter the answer to that, where can I find Catwoman? The thug looked down, practically feeling like he was dead already. He shook his head and looked into the sky, sweating. Well no, Catwoman usually works alone, mostly goes for muscle or anything that interests her into a partnership, otherwise she just a rogue. He gulped, thinking hard, closing his eyes. The cat is very stealthy though, a grand thief. No one knows where she is until she decided to pay them a visit. I swear. Naruto let his fingers start to slip, clicking his tongue. Sorry, that was a wrong answer. Not worth shit. But, good news I am a very generous man. Tell me where Ivy is. And if you give me good information, I will keep my original promise and let you live and deliver you safely to the pavement. The thug nodded, smiling in relief. Well, Ivy usually hangs out in some old warehouse in the outskirts, but this time around she grabbed onto a partner. Don't know who, but she moved her operation to the south side, in a working natural hot spring, and happens to have a chemical bath next to it. Naruto hummed, looking around at the ground, but grinned. Fine by me. Good night. He slammed his head into the thugs, knocking him out. He lowered to the ground and dropped him into the trash before flying up onto a roof and sighing. He grinned. Well, I have to say, you are good. I only just noticed you, and you could not have missed me in the air. He turned to see that the legend, the big man, the one and only. The Batman was standing on the top of the stairwell entrance part of the building, having height advantage. Batman stood tall and narrowed his eyes. Naruto knew this as a gesture of judgment, and kept his posture, steady, guarded, ready to move if need be, but still peaceful. Batman stepped to the very edge. Kitsune X. You haven't got a reputation yet, but between your fight with the Titans in a Lex Crops building as Red X, and the fact Robin seems to have taken an interest in you, Batgirl gave me some decent information. Naruto chuckled. Oh really? Glad to hear I'm pretty well known by the Gotham masks. Between you, Robin, Batgirl, Huntress, I'd say you guys are doing well for yourselves. But, whatever Robin left you for, that is a mystery even you cannot fathom, I gander, otherwise he wouldn't hate your shadow. Batman looked hardened, and Naruto could feel the slight emotions being sent at him. He couldn't tell with so little, but didn't care when it vanished. Batman grabbed a batarang and flexed it open. Why would you even be here? There should be no business for someone like you to be in Gotham, and even so, you are still a criminal, so I will take you in. Naruto backed up a step, looking ready. Sadly, you ain't getting nothing from me besides this is a personal visit. Also, you ain't talking me nowhere. I have information in which your tricks will not help you find. Think about it, taking me in would be a bad move. Batman thought it over, stalling his throw. but threw it nonetheless, the batarang flying by Naruto as he ducked. Naruto jumped back, flipping out of the way of Batman's thrusting punch to his shoulder. Naruto stopped, smiling as Batman stalled too. I see. Won't let me go easy, huh? Fine by me. Tell you what though, I will only use physical attacks and anything to supplement them. Batman narrowed his vision and Naruto nodded. Naruto rose his hands up and tightened them to fists, and suddenly smoke was out as two swords suddenly jutted from the formed armor of the arms and went to hit Batman. Batman ducked, and let the swords go behind him. Bad mistake. Naruto was suddenly gone from sight. And he looked back and caught the hard kick to his face. Naruto had somehow teleported to where his swords were behind him and was still in midair enough to strike. Naruto landed and backed off as Batman rushed in with an elbow, but spun and kicked hard, managing to break the bricks off the wall that was where Naruto was a second ago. Naruto rolled under him and stabbed his sword into the roof and vanished. Batman turned to the left, then rushed ahead and turned to the right, seeing nothing. He looked at the blade and seen it was something specially made. He went up to it as a closer look. He regretted getting too close, as out of nowhere, Naruto once more appeared, grabbing onto the handle and kicking hard, knocking Batman back and pulling the sword from the roof. Batman staggered a bit, yes, but got back in the game. Naruto chuckled. Serious people need to stop being serious. I mean really, why can't we have some fun? Guess you wanna know how I did that, huh? Not gonna happen. Batman narrowed his eyes, his cloak falling around him and covering his body. Naruto got ready, knowing that whatever Batman was doing under that cape, it was bad news for him. He moved first. He threw his sword up ahead and tried to cut into Batman, but that failed, as Batman twisted out of the way and then threw some pellets to the ground. Naruto had once again teleported to behind Batman, but that smoke dealt with his plans. But he had to admit, it went off Batman's as well. The big bad bat was trying to get more information. He threw his sword once more and knew he hit into a wall nearby, but heard steps. He turned to see Batman tackle him, and he raised his arms up and slammed his elbows down, but Batman, being so good, had managed to let go and roll to the side before getting hit. Naruto rolled and got on his feet as he seen Batman running at him again, throwing a hard left kick. Naruto blocked it, and as he twisted around it, grabbed the blade from his back and slashed down. Batman blocked up, his three-pronged gauntlets catching the blade. Naruto disappeared from view, going to his other sword and jumping of the wall of the stairway entrance. Batman saw this, grabbing Naruto's sword and slashing at the same time as Naruto had at him. This was where shit with Batman got real. Batman was full swung and seen Naruto had vanished from his spot, but was once more at where the sword on the wall was, and jumped again, pulling it from the wall and spinning, a drill you might say, and swung hard. Batman ducked, sliding on his heel as Naruto flew over him. Naruto swung down as well, but Batman blocked it and threw the blade at Naruto after he had passed, trying to stab into his shoulder. Naruto did not land, but vanished from his spot and went right by the passing blade, and grabbed it, letting it pull as he rolled it and changed its direction, throwing it at Batman. Batman dodged the other way, but found Naruto on him right as the sword that was thrown was on him, and Batman blocked high. The gauntlets were very heavy duty, blocking well, and Naruto chuckled. Invigorating. He vanished from view. Batman jumped up and saw Naruto standing still at the ledge of the building. Naruto looked around the city. Ah, Gotham. Rumored to be a hellhole infected with rodents and evil. I have seen the darkened streets. I bet by day they are as normal as can be, but by night, the evil that slumbered in the dark comes out to play, and the rodents. They come out to play. Naruto turned to Batman. I see why Robin is so serious, how he got the skill he has. Let me tell you something. You cannot hope to be the master forever. Robin will soon become greater and more involved in his own, and when he does, you will see, you will witness your mistake of letting him go. Batman narrowed his eyes, and this time Naruto felt it, the twitch of irritation. This meant the big bad bat had a soft spot for the boy wonder. Batman launched 5 batarangs at him, consecutive 3, and 2 in the shadows of the 3. Naruto vanished once more and Batman knew it, as he flipped back on his hands and pushed hard, giving a double heel kick to Naruto, whom appeared next to the door of the roof access. Naruto was about to fly off the building, but caught himself, on the air no less, and was standing on it. Ah, gotta love it. Kitsune are tricksters, remember this. Naruto vanished again, back to the door, and Batman rolled back giving a hard hook. Naruto backed into the door and tackled Batman to the ground this time. Batman hit elbows into Naruto's back, but Naruto gave hard jabs to the Dark Knight's ribs. They split, Naruto being thrown back thanks to Batman's superior skills to do so, and Naruto catching on the air. Neither were affected. Batman's punches at such close range would be unable to give much force with the absorbent material under the layer of steel in Naruto's suit, and Batman had his own integrated materials to absorb damage. Naruto popped his neck. Alright, so we are just increasing on the power. How about I do it even more, huh? Watch yourself. Don't feel too bad after I cut you open. Naruto vanished. This was where he picked it up tenfold. Naruto dropped all three blades around Batman. And he appeared near one, throwing a rough hook and catching Batman's block, vanishing again and kicking Batman in the back of his shin, but Batman rolled off it. He went to the third sword and flipped, slamming a hard kick into the knight's chin, this being his only real hit on the bat since it started. He appeared again behind and shoved an elbow, but Batman used that to roll and slam his own into Naruto's back. Naruto was about to hit the ground when he vanished again. Batman caught the hard kick to his chest, and turned, rolling with the spinning back kick to his shoulder, and forced Naruto back. Batman was a more formidable opponent than Naruto thought at first. Naruto grabbed his sword this time, slashing super fast and hard, and Batman couldn't stop it in time and it cut into the knight's shoulder, cutting a small gash in the suit, but hitting the Kevlar that was under it. Naruto got his next sword, slashing low and slashing high. Batman caught the high one, but was cut to his knees, blood spilling to the ground as his knee was actually cut from the low blade attack. Naruto suddenly appeared and slammed the hilt of one sword in his hands with the fallen sword and it clicked together. Naruto slashed with both ends, and the sword in his other hand which went upward. Batman brought his boot up to stop that one and caught the other in his gauntlet. Naruto landed on his feet, but only for a second as Batman spiraled and slammed two really hard kicks into his stomach. Naruto slid along the ground before rolling and landing on his feet again, still holding his blades. Naruto huffed. I see, so you are a hell of a fighter. No wonder the kid is good. Though, as you know, he ain't got your skills or experience. Wanna know why? Batman narrowed his eyes, Naruto feeling the hate coming in now. The feelings would make Batman more susceptible to mistakes. Right. Batman threw another batarang, this one coming in on a high angle. Naruto bent back to dodge the so simple device, to see another coming in hard and fast at him. He rolled to the side, but instead of doing a roll, he was laying on his back. In midair. Nice. Got me to get off my feet. You are good, but I bet you never allowed Robin his chance to get this good, huh? Batman gritted his teeth, and ran forward. Naruto grinned and twisted back on his feet again. Batman slid on the ground, trying to trip Naruto, but Naruto lifted his feet again, and slamming them down. Batman was no fool though, and Naruto would find out, even if you try, Batman was the goddamn Batman. He always will be, because he caught those heels and pulled hard and twisted them, forcing Naruto into the ground. Naruto vanished again before Batman could throw the knockout punch to the head, which cracked the concrete to ribbons under the punch. Naruto was in the middle of the roof, standing as if nothing happened. Batman stood, turning to him. I see why Robin had trouble. But you are no match for me. You are a fool not going full strength on me, and that will be your undoing. Naruto grinned. Yes, well, I never meant to actually kill you, so I won't try it. Tell you what though, let me go, I do my business, I leave, you can go your merry little way. No hassle, and your so-called rivals of justice have less time to prepare for you. Batman threw another batarang and Naruto ducked on it. Seriously, how many fucking tools you got? I'm prepared for anything. Naruto was kicked hard into the wall and when he tried to see Batman again, he got a punch to the face, a kick in the stomach, a rolling elbow to the shoulder, a headbutt and then a fierce double heel into his gut and chest. Naruto was deep in a hole but he was still protected enough to keep awake. He huffed, feeling the force against him this time. Batman got up and twisted around, about to snap another kick, when he forced himself from the hole, rolling under the kick and Batman and jumping out of the way. Batman landed and tried to kick Naruto back, but missed when Naruto jumped away. Naruto grunted as he got up, seeing Batman stable, passive, and emotionless as he has seemed at first and throughout. He grinned. Lighten up, you are way too serious. I congratulate you on finally bruising me, but you will not defeat me so easy. Naruto got his swords in a flash of yellow and Batman saw three Naruto out of nowhere, but even if he thought it was only one Naruto moving fast, it was actually Naruto and two clones, grabbing a sword each and crossing blades in a slash at his chest. Batman ducked and got on his hands, flipping upside down and kicking all Naruto's back hard. Two turned into smoke at that, dropping the swords, and the real one slid along the ground. Batman got on his feet and jumped to the side, getting to where he could see all swords, catching on that they were part of his teleport ability. I got your number now, you can't teleport without your swords. Naruto grinned, popping his neck again, feeling it sore as the anticipation stressed all his body into going all out, but had to hold back. Oh, how wrong you are. I will say this, you got a good perception, and the swords are part of the reason I teleport. Naruto vanished behind Batman again. Get your facts straight. Batman was actually showing a bit of surprise, seeing as his facts were wrong, but still, he would not allow himself defeat so easy. Naruto back flipped onto his hands, but moving forward, and kicking high up with both legs. Batman blocked but only just, as the force made him fly into the sky. Batman flipped back before sliding on his belly and opening his cape, and Naruto seen him glide in fast. Not good. He vanished and got to his swords again, being him and one clone to attack Batman. Batman grew tired of this game now, seeing he had no chance to figure everything out without losing, so he gave up on that strategy. He rushed in, pulling a double fist rush and knocking Naruto back, and the clone to go away in a plume of smoke. Batman took out his sling and threw it as Naruto flipped back on his feet, but they got caught on the downside. Naruto stopped and stalled in midair. Phew, you or goo, didn't get a chance as Batman fired off a snap kick to his ribs and jumped at the same time to push hard down and ram a fist into the same spot. The absorbent dragon skin could only handle so much force before transferred to Naruto's body, and Naruto felt the pain as if taking a hit from a tank as he hit the ground. Batman didn't let up, firing a fist to his helmet, making his head hit the roof scrabble and getting up, taking out some pellets and throwing them, all of them exploding on Naruto. Batman landed on the top of the entrance, and waited. He knew that his attack wasn't enough to beat Naruto, but at least enough to make him make mistakes now. Or so he thought, because it seemed Naruto was way better than he imagined. Naruto stood, clapping as he was seen unharmed after the smoke cleared. Not bad. Damn, you might have gotten a clean hit through this time. Naruto pointed to his swords. You think the teleportation works one way? Wrong. Naruto made his hands to fists and suddenly one sword was next to the other, and the other lone sword had appeared in his hand. I modified what my father built upon. But, sadly the two-way road has some issues. Still, only issue is the distance I can teleport to the marked position is fixed. I can still grab any of my objects from even half the world away and make them come to me. People are a little harder. Batman narrowed his vision. Why would you tell me something like this? It would have been a helpful secret. Naruto hummed, putting his sword on his shoulder. Let's just say it makes things more interesting if we battle again. For now, all you need to know is that I can span all of Gotham in a single jump, so there is nowhere I cannot go in this city. He was lying through his teeth. The addition of the two-way teleportation made the distance he can travel nearly 2/3 of Gotham, but that would be all he would need. And he loved the fact the Batman was so easy to fool. Nice try. I heard better bluffs from people who never bluffed against me. Naruto sighed. Okay, he forgot. Robin called his power core bluff. How the hell was Batman going to go for a supplement technique he never knew bluff? Batman rushed in, using the ledge as a hard surface to kick off. Naruto caught the bat, but instead of drawing back or flipping him, he rammed his knee hard into Batman's chest, making the bat spit out blood and hit the wall hard. Batman was a tough as hell guy because he used the momentum of being bounced from the wall to rush in and shoulder into Naruto. Naruto, as it seemed, was taking the kid gloves off. Naruto caught the shoulder, something red shining before he pushed Batman where his back was facing, and Batman used that to swing an elbow into Naruto's neck. Naruto rolled forward and kicked off the wall as Batman rushed in, jumping and snapping a hard kick, crushing the bricks under his weight as Naruto flew into the air over him and arching to the ground. Batman looked surprised as a red X on his shoulder suddenly started zapping him. He grabbed the X and ripped it off him, sighing in relief, but only for Naruto to crack his jaw with a hard left, and slam into his ribs with a spiraling right. Batman stepped forward and turned to see Naruto spinning like a top in the air, and as he got close, snapped his legs out and tried for Batman's head to come right off, and failed because Batman ducked under the first leg, but caught the second and pulled down hard. Naruto had two options here, either try to stand and stop the bat from bringing him down to the ground, thus breaking his fucking leg. Or the way he went, and bent back, catching himself with his hands and snapping a kick up, probably cracking the Batman's wrist to let go before spinning like a top and kicking the bat back. Batman staggered back as Naruto went back onto his legs. Batman lifted his dislocated wrist and Naruto grinned. Sorry, I'll be more gentle for the hind crack. Naruto looked to see that Batman had popped his wrist back into place, and not showing even a hint of feeling. Did I say I will be gentle? Forget that shit. They had a slight stare down. Naruto was in his mind with Kyuubi, who was laughing his ass off. Oh kid, you are so dead meat. He ain't even through figuring out what you can really do. You really thought he would be as weak as you thought. Naruto growled in his mind. Fine, I admit. I didn't expect the bat to be such a contender, but then again, seeing as he might as well faced my power before, seeing as he has faced Superman quite a lot, I gotta stop thinking about what is truly under his skills. This time, I fight him as if I am facing the true legend of the bat, because Kami be damned, I am facing the legend. He only had a limited amount of time, seeing as he needed to grab Cheshire and get out, or else have to endure the wrath of the Justice League of the Universe. He stopped their stare down with a highly unpredictable move so far. He activated his X blades on his hands, whilst creating an insane amount of X shuriken, and ran forward, throwing them by the dozens at the big bad bat. Batman ran to the side and jumped out of the way and under, rolling back to dodge more before blocking the last few with his gauntlets, a few tearing into his cap though. Naruto got to him, slamming down hard with his X-blades, the gauntlets rising to protect the bat, and they grunted, trying to overpower each other. Naruto grinned more. Come on old man. You ain't strong enough to face this. Naruto kicked hard, forcing the bat back, but rushed in, slicing with spinning X-blades, which Batman blocked the first swing but not the rolling snap kick, managing to roll into it and try a pounding elbow. Naruto caught onto the wrist and twisted it, and forced it down, and his spinning X-blade cut into the chest of the bat's suit before he spun and kicked really hard, and by hard, it was as if Superman had gained 10 times his strength. Batman's arms blocked, only to be crushed against him and him flown back into the wall of the entrance yet again, and having a hard double elbow drop on his shoulders, forcing him to the ground. Batman groaned, still awake, and looking up to see Naruto. Naruto grinned. Checkmate. Naruto got his sword back to him and was about to pin the bat to the wall, not kill, but pin him, and he turned rapidly because he felt a presence behind him, moving in fast. He turned and saw a black figure come at him. As he turned to see the black figure, his blade followed in front of him, and it sunk within the figure's chest. Naruto's eyes widened. Shit, I didn't mean to kill the guy, what the hell? Did he not see my sword? The figure's head was on his shoulder, but it rose, seeing a man with a hat and domino mask, smiling. Sorry, but you cannot kill the spirit. Naruto suddenly saw the man's head go past him and coming in on the side was a fist, and it connected, hard. The force of the punch was so intense he was forced back and hit the wall really hard, but before he could figure out what was going on, he had it happen 3 more times, hard rushed powerful fists connecting to his head, making it go back and hit the wall, back into the fist, into the wall, and 1 more time before he fell over, unconscious. Batman got up, seeing Kitsune X down for the count. He turned to see the man in the black hat and domino mask, a black suit with bright red tie, smiling as he stood proudly before the bat. Batman narrowed his eyes. Spirit. The Spirit, a hero from Central City, one that Batman grew to respect and befriend during a harsh time for both Gotham's and Central's commissioners being kidnapped to Hawaii. Spirit smiled and bowed. My pleasure, Batman. Anything to help a fellow hero out. Batman nodded, and rolled his shoulders, his arms disappearing in his cape. So, what brings you to my city this time? Came for a friendly chat. Spirit sighed, shaking his head. Sorry, as much as I like our small visits, this is big. We got the octopus in Gotham. Batman's vision narrowed. Spirit saw this and nodded, sighing heavier. Yeah, seems he and some rouge of yours got together for some major activity. Got the intel that he might bring whatever will happen to Gotham to Central, just to find me dead soon. Batman nodded, turning to Kitsune X. Batgirl, mind picking this one up for me? I got some trouble here. Batgirl flipped from a nearby building and flown onto the roof, sighing. You wouldn't have that kind of trouble if you had dodged the stupid kick. Spirit nodded to Batgirl, pulling his hat, and she nodded back. Batgirl went and grabbed Kitsune X from the floor and pulled him along to the edge of the building. See you at the cave, going to take this guy up to the holding cells. Wait. She looked back to Batman walking to her. He shook his head. No can do, he has information we need, and the gang I was about to hit to help us out he hit first. He has the information, and my techniques of interrogation would be not as bad as his, if you seen him up there. Batgirl thought about it for a second before shrugging. Your choice. So, cave then. He nodded and she zip-lined up to the cloaked Batwing, getting it back to the cave. Batman looked back to the Spirit who walked from behind him to beside him, carrying all 3 swords. So, this guy is pretty good with swords. I didn't see the whole thing, mind giving me an update on this guy's abilities? Batman looked at the swords, then out and tried to zip-line away. Spirit putting the swords in a bag he was carrying and started trying to follow the Dear Dark Knight. Always the talker. XXX back at the Batcave XXX. Batman places the sword that looked like the primary one on a pedestal. He started unwrapping and unhooking the guard's lining. After he got it all off he looked at the entire thing. Interesting. The Spirit hummed before sliding a finger along the full tang handle of the blade. This writing, it looks man-made, not mystic. Batman nodded, picking the blade up. He said that the reason he teleported wasn't because of the sword, but because of something else he has, and this is the only thing I can think of that can make him teleport with this sword. The Spirit knocked on the blade. Not bad, this stuff looks like high-quality steel. It is. He put the blade down, going to the computer and pulling up a file. It's mono steel, project name Titan Omega, a man-made synthetic created to be a denser, stronger metal, still lightweight too. Able to withstand forces from Superman at medium strength. The Spirit whistled. How he get this stuff? Stolen. He pulled up yet another record. A supply was taken from LexCorp from Jump City around the time the whole Brother Blood incident went amok for the Hive. The Spirit looked to the sword. He has 3 swords from this stuff. Question. Why did you want him to come here? Batman put the files away and went to the sword, covering it up again. Like I said, the information I was trying to get was taken, and not from me. Any way to retrieve it went out in smoke when Kitsune X took to those gangs. Only way to find out what Ivy is up to is to grab the chance and hold him here. Spirit sighed, walking to the bat. I respect your decisions, this is your town, but I have a bad feeling about this. He sat on the table, looking at Batman. Letting this guy, whom you have no idea what is going on with his skills, in your lair. You sure Batgirl can even stand up against him? Batman turned, typing in some information to fill out on Kitsune X. She can handle it. Besides, he isn't one to brutally or lethally harm anyone. I know, we fought it out on that roof for a bit. The only reason I'm not on the ground in pain is because I am pretty much resistant to that feeling. Spirit smiled. You're a tough one, Batman. Still, how can you be so sure? Batman smiled slightly as he turned. Because, he didn't use anything but his fists against me. Spirit was confused, and Batman clicked a button, showing the tape from the Hive's old days, Naruto forming the tornado and making the camera go out. He is capable of much, and only fought me minimally. He either doesn't consider me a challenge or he knows what he is capable of and doesn't want to destroy. Spirit nodded, smiling. You are the greatest detective. But you never answered my question. You think it is a good idea bringing him here? Batman looked down the cave, then turned. Better here than breaking some cops in whilst doing his business. Seeing as we don't know any available weakness and he can do pretty much anything against us. I'm surprised he didn't know you enough to keep fighting. He looked horrified at the possibility of killing you. Spirit grinned. And you thought I'd never trick my opponents. Anyway, you know you are gonna ask, so let me say it. Word is, Octopus haggled with Ivy, both chemists looking for a, you scratch my back I scratch yours, deal. Sounds like the Octopus style to me. Batman nodded, but sighed slightly. Not Ivy's, she is more of a use the nearest male and never look back. Taking everything for herself kind of girl. Spirit shrugged. Still, Octopus isn't easy to kill. He is like me in that manner. He looked out into nowhere, thinking his thoughts. Down below at the lowest parts of the cave, whilst still above the water, Naruto found himself waking up. He groaned, his vision coming back, but it being really dark and shaded. Oh great, someone tried to take my mask off. Thankfully the fail-safe helped. He sighed heavily. Fail-safe revert. Go lucky wings. He heard the helmet click and his power running on again. Thankfully he could refill the suit anytime he wishes thanks to Gizmo being a genius and his own infinite supply. He saw the room, a bit dark and dank, but felt his restraints, and was impressed. Actually, he was honored that the Batman put him a high threat. He was thinking cuffs, maybe chains. This was a whole new ballgame. He was put up against an X, his hands put into big metal cuffs around his whole hand and wrist, and in his legs, and what felt like 50 pounds of metal covering his chest down to his hips. He looked in front of him to see Batgirl keeping an eye on him. Should I call you mistress, or Bat Babe? Batgirl grinned evilly, grabbing 3 batarangs. Only if you be a good boy and bite your tongue off and choke on your own blood. Naruto chuckled. Least you have fun with your serious attitude. Unlike the big guy and the young ward I faced with. I'm honored actually, really. Who knew Batman thought me to be such a threat and lock me up like this? Batgirl looked confused a bit. Honored to be put that high. Normally bad guys get pissed about this kind of captivity. Naruto chuckled more. Hell no, I ain't such a bad guy, once you get to know me. Besides, I always had a question about me and the big guy upstairs, if I was strong enough to be considered good enough to his skills, or if he was just for show. Batgirl grinned. I see. So, he got the skill, and you got the acceptance of big threat. Congrats. Naruto nodded. Yep. Anyway, what happened to the guy the first killed? I wanna pay my respects. Batgirl caught his saddened voice, and looked confused. You don't know the bigger heroes huh? Only by name. Naruto looked confused himself. I know the Titans, I know the 7 members of the Justice League. I know nothing of you, or whatever you are talking about. Batgirl rolled her eyes. Figures. Alright, the founding 7 of the JLU, that is who you are most likely talking about. They have way more now. As for me, well, I came in a while back and am currently happy with it. Though I wish Robin wasn't such a simple-minded jerk. Naruto shrugged. Well, seems to me he is just having things go wrong in his life. You two friends. Batgirl sighed. We were. Still are I think, but at this stage one doubt he even wants to talk to me, or if talking to him will even do well. Naruto say this and smiled a bit. I see. So the kid doesn't know your feelings. Or is it the other way around? Batgirl looked confused. He chuckled. It's written all over your face, you love the traffic light. Batgirl blushed for a moment, but then stood straight up. Do not. We are just friends. That is all. Naruto rolled his eyes, grinning. Oh sure, that's why you deny it so strongly right. Batgirl sputtered and he chuckled louder. Relax, Red, I know the feeling. To have someone you love and suddenly things go wrong. Naruto chuckled sadly, sighing at the end. I was betrayed so many times. It's not even funny. I can see in Robin, who I am, and I see now why. You betrayed him somehow. Batgirl was about to speak when he interrupted. I don't know how, and honestly hearing your side of the story will just make me hate the situation worse. All I know is you did something that made him angry and hurt and sad. You don't know why that is. Batgirl was about to reject. When she remembered and looked away. Okay, so maybe I was a little tough. Maybe I did give him some harsh times. I guess I betrayed his trust, but I didn't mean to. I mean, how was I supposed to know he didn't? Naruto nodded. Listen, you have time to think about that later, especially time to make things right. As of now, I doubt the bat wants me to stay here any longer without answers. Got that right. They both turned to see Batman coming down with the spirit. Naruto recognized the outfit. Hell no, I killed you. The spirit grinned. Sorry to disappoint, but I'm not gonna die so easily. I've been shot and stabbed so many times, but no way will I die, not until the world is cleansed of evil. Naruto sighed heavily in relief. Well, good to know I didn't kill anyone. I was worried. Batman smiled at that. I realized you wouldn't want death. So, tell me what I want to know and I will let you out. Naruto looked at the bat, but turned his head to the side. You ain't gonna get squat out of me so easy. See, I could already get out. Suddenly the cuffs and metal bars on him sprang back into the giant X and he walked up to Batman, non-hostile. Batman grinned. This is my lair, and you don't have your weapons. Naruto shrugged. I fought you by hand, I still can. By the way, whoever you are, nice hooks, you got some skill. The spirit tipped his hat. I trained my butt off for my great skill. Naruto turned to Batman. Besides, you remember I can either teleport to them, or bring them back to me. So you got nothing on me. Batman hummed, turning and walking to the door he came from. Come with me. We shall negotiate. Batgirl and Spirit were surprised Batman was being so lenient with him so far, but followed behind Naruto as he followed the bat. Naruto saw his blades and seen Batman nod to them before continuing. Naruto got his blades to him again, putting the arm ones back in his gauntlets and the back one in the sheath. He sighed. I feel so much better now. They got to the computer and Batman opened up some files. In exchange for helping us, what do you wish in return? Naruto hummed in thought, then snapped his fingers. Yours will do. Seeing as I have not committed any crimes at all in Gotham, and you attacked me first, so I claim self-defense. Batman nodded. Fine, and I suppose you got a point there, so you are off the hook. For now, what help do you require? Naruto shrugged. Well, I need help finding a friend. My personal business you would say. Batman looked at Naruto. A friend huh? From the hive. Naruto nodded. Cheshire, to be clear. She's on my team, and we are still setting up shop. She told my little buddies she was going to come here looking for a cat. I asked that thug about it, seems it's Catwoman. Batman brought up a picture, a very stylish black suit, turtleneck to her nose, orange goggles, and really big ears. Catwoman huh? Seems it fits the usual feline attire both share. Got the info you needed. Naruto shook his head. Nope. Said he had no leads to the cat. So I asked about the other lead when Cheshire got a message through to my techie, saying Ivy has her. I asked about her. Batman brought Poison Ivy on the screen. Skin green and crawling with vines and leaves, and Naruto whistled. For a green plant babe, she lookin' fine. Batman got the information up. Poison Ivy, aka Pamela Isley. Botanist chemical scientist. A very independent woman who loves plants and the earth in such high regards she disregards human life, and destroys everything and everyone getting in her way. Able to control plants and grow more even from just a tiny seed. Naruto nodded. The thug told me she had a thing for the vine. Also told me her location. Batgirl turned to him. And where would that be, might I ask? Before they could continue though. The alarm sounded, and then another. Batman brought the first up. Catwoman is striking the East Side Animal Museum, possibly for the newest feline edition, the feline jewel portrait. He listened in and looked a little confused. This is odd, seems Mr. Freeze is with her, she normally doesn't work with others, and even then, none is smart. He brought the other one up. This says Bane is wrecking a whole slate of land down, one building at a time, possibly to plant the seeds of more destruction. Alright, Kitsune X, Batgirl, you take Bane, I'll go for, Batgirl pointed a finger to his chest. You ain't taking the cat anymore, you two get way too flirty, and I don't wanna see any more mushy between you and that villain. Me and Kitsune X will handle the cat and Ice Man. Batman narrowed his eyes, but seen her point. Fine, I'll grab Bane. Seems Harley is with him somehow. Spirit, give me a hand here. Batman and Spirit got in the Batmobile and sped off. Batgirl pulled Kitsune X to the Batwing. Get in. Naruto smiled. So, your mentor has a thing for felines. Batgirl scoffed as she got the plane flying to the museum. You betcha. XXX Robin sees Raven about an object. Omake XXX. Robin knocked on Raven's door, and seeing her open it he smiled. Hey, mind if I come in? She nodded and gestured him inside. He looked around a bit. You have a very nice room. She floated to her circle of books and smiled back. Well, I try. So, you wanted me for something. Robin gave her the 2 kunai he had, one from Kitsune X, the other from Naruto, and not knowing they were one and the same person. The kunai though, were not totally the same. I need you to help me understand something. Raven nodded and took them. Their energy signatures match Naruto and Kitsune X, but they are different, just like the difference in person. This one seems to be a rough draft kind, more like the first seal made. She gave him the one from Kitsune X back. And this one here is newer, has modifications on it, and even a different shade of yellow. She held up the one from Naruto. Both are using the same energy, but they are for different people. Robin nodded, humming. He looked at her. Naruto told me only he and Kitsune X could do it. Is there a way I could too? Raven got a book, noticing the symbols somehow and looked. It's possible. It's just rearranging the energy needed to use whatever the technique is. Robin smiled. Can you help me make the Kitsune X 1 into 1 for me only? This way I stop him from having a way in the tower, and I can probably use his own technique against him. Raven read the book a little more, but smiled. It'll be easy enough. If you need more, I suggest making more. Any kind of design is okay, just give me an object you wish to use and I will create the energy-based seals. You will have to figure out how to activate the seal though.